Back 2 o'clock as we head into the final 2 hours of trading here for a Wednesday. Pretty muted action once again, 2 days in a row. Markets are very quiet. We'll show you the big board here and get you started off with the lay of the land, as we typically do here. 0.06 for the S&P. Hey, we're positive, so there's that. The Dow 0.2%, the NASDAQ back in the red ever so slightly, but yeah, very, very low volume, very, very low movement right across the board. Nice positive day for the TSX here in Toronto again. First day open since pre-Christmas, so playing a little bit of catch-up there for the TSX. 0.7 to the downside for Brazil. Crude oil off as well, 0.8%. I mean, off the highs, I should say. It is still higher, but it was up about 1.5% at one point today. Yeah, Bitcoin trying to bounce as well. I was looking at Bitcoin when I was talking about crude oil there. Bitcoin trying to bounce back in positive, or back to positive territory as well. WDC down here keeps popping up on this board, leading the way as far as tech shares are concerned. Nice day, 5.6% for the hardware equipment maker. Western Digital, AMD there to the downside, XLNX, NVIDIA, some of the chip makers weak. Micron, though, standing out as stronger than the rest. Sean's going to join us here in a minute to take you through what we were thinking about on Micron this morning. We talked about a positive note for that, but yeah, nice day for Micron. Consumer discretionary stocks positive as well. Tasco, AZO, DG, Target, GPS among the leaders there. 1.5 through 2.5% to the upside. Consumer durables positive. Some of the travel names getting a little bit of negative pressure. Once again, back to the downside. Communication services not bad so far today. We are positive for Match, Twitter, Fox, Discovery here, Dish as well to the downside. EA coming off the lows there a little bit, trying to get back into positive territory. Quick look at the NASDAQ overall. LCID, yeah, not a good day. 4.5% to the downside. AMD here, 3%, as we said, leading the way. Some of the Chinese names under pressure. PDD, 2.7. We saw Alibaba with positive news back in positive territory. Baidu, though, 2.8%. There's Peloton, 1.5. We mentioned yesterday, it was, I believe as of yesterday, 74% on the year for Peloton to the downside. So, yeah. Chalk up another 1.5 on top of that. So here we go. As we do to kick things off, guys, we'll get you started with a little bit of a look back at what we were looking at going into the open this morning. Yeah, it was quiet. It's a holiday week, but we had to pick and choose our targets very specifically, but there was some opportunity. Sean's going to kick us off here with a look at one of his trades.
Hey traders, look, one of the best things, well, there's multiple best things about tradertv.live, but we have our watch list going every single day. You can get that at watchlist.tradertv.live. It's absolutely free. Check it out every day. I also refer to that, and then I make something called a sticky note, which right here, we put this out every single day. And we're looking at Micron. It's the #1 stock. It's on the list here. Motley Fool with a buy today. It's been a super hot sector. You've been watching AMD, NVIDIA. So today, we're just going to go over to Micron, and then look, we're going to look for a break at 93.40. I'll talk about that, but it's a long. It's yesterday's resistance. So let's close this and have a quick look at why we liked that 93.40. So you could see it goes back into here, yesterday's levels. This is a 20-minute chart. We had yesterday's high here, about 93.40. So that's sort of what we were looking at for a break. And then right here, right into here, we highlighted this area. These are the pre-market levels. When we made that sticky note, 93.40, so you can see it's right here. We are sort of bumping up against it. This is actually well after we made the sticky note every day when we come in. So around down here, 7 to 8 o'clock, making that. And then we're noticing it's the high. That break right there. Look at this execution to the upside. I don't have anything. I'm only in right here. But you could see that someone agreed with me. There's the 93.40 level. There's the break. It goes right away to 93.80. But it happens in the pre-market. We're busy. Should have had the order in. We should be long down there if we listen to ourselves. But we don't. So what happens here is we get a 94.80 break. Basically, these are the pre-market levels. This would have been a great long area. We actually wait for it to come back in and retest some of those pre-market levels, and we get lucky because we get that long. This comes right in on some of these wicks. When we notice these wicks, that's why we sit down a little bit lower than some of the levels that we like, because sometimes you get that blowout bottom, and if you happen to be sitting there, it's somebody else liquidating or selling into you, and you like the stock. So strength is what you're looking for. Here it comes in, down to the downside. and then boom, straight back up. We get the first piece out. So we have nothing out. We take a 95 or 94.80, and then we get that 90, I guess, what is that, 94? About a 94. So our average price rate here looking at about 94.40, 94.50, something like that. As it comes right back out, we get part out for flat. It's right at view up. We're like, okay, here we go. We got a little piece out. Now let's let the rest ride. And that's exactly what happens. Then it takes out the day's high at that level. So we put an offer in there, get out at the day's high. Then we just let it work, man. The NASDAQ's starting to move. Micron's starting to go up to the upside. Not only that, remember, this was one of the only ideas we had today. It's well, we had a few ideas, but it's a light trading day. So you have to focus on the names that are moving. Micron with a lot of volume here off the open. We let it settle down, and then bang, comes right back into some of these levels that we liked before. So it comes right back in, and we buy the dip. So we're reloaded down here at 94.50. Good trade, it looks like. Breaks back down, comes right back up to view up. That's 60 cents right there. This is a minute chart. In a matter of like 3 or 4 minutes, comes right back up, and then it just takes off, right? It kind of goes a little bit parabolic here off of this move. Boom. Somehow resists view up one more time. We talked about stocks retracing. Give it the first, I talked about this yesterday, I think. Give it the first half hour or so, then start to use, these wicks don't happen, then start to use some of these levels for retracement. Anyways, boom to the upside. Remember where we're long, 94.50? That's our last out there on 96 break. We were letting it ride higher, man. We could have got out 96.50, so on and so forth. We were actually hoping for this move, but unfortunately, we down tick this level right here. So it breaks that 96, and that coincides with us finally getting out because we don't want to see this get back down to the downside. You never let your winners turn into losers, but we're still happy taking about a buck. That's a 94.50 out 96, so about a $1.50 on the last piece. Micron, a few entries, a few exits there. It's your trade of the day. Should have held on into a bit longer, but we'll be back in this name later on.
So important to have a plan, so important to be involved in the names that are moving around. Every single morning we go over said plan at 8:30. In the first hour of the show. That's the watch list, guys. Absolutely free, or the link to the watch list, I should say. Absolutely free to you every single morning before we come on at 8:30. Yeah, Micron was on that list this morning, as were a few others. I just noted Alibaba. I mentioned Alibaba was trying to get back to positive territory. It's obviously not quite there yet. This was the headline, though, we came in this morning. Alibaba, I mean, there was rumors they're looking to sell this Weibo, which is a Twitter-like type social media platform in China. So they're selling their stake. It was in Weibo. So trying to get back higher is what I was trying to say there. $112 ends up being a bit of a level here. We get below it, test again, test again. We're trying to stay above it now for Alibaba, though. But that, among a number of other names, were discussed if you did join us this morning, guys, amongst those chip makers, AMD, NVIDIA, notably weak today compared to Micron, but Alibaba, some of the Chinese names as well, to the downside.
I had Baba this morning. That was a nice little play, short of 114. Nice little move to the downside. Now, we were able to capitalize on this, and I think I brought this up. And the only reason it came up was because of what it did on the daily, right? We were sitting in front of this 114-ish area, 114, 115 area. It seemed to be like there was some support on the daily. Kept bouncing off of it, and then finally we get this little gap down move into that 114. So anytime you're underneath the level, you have that resistance or previous support, which is now going to act as resistance, and that's exactly the play you make, right? You go for the short, see how far it goes down. We knew around 110 there was going to be a problem because it's done it in the past. The day it did, which was the 3rd, around 110, around 111, there was some volume, and the next day you got that sharp move to the upside on Baba. So as we go back into that area, there's going to be some leftover volume that's going to provide that support to bounce this market back up. So knowing that, we kind of put some targets down. We got close, but never really, got a chance to get the full exit out. I was looking around 111, had to kind of back off a little bit, took out the 111.50, and then when it turned around just north of 111.70, I think I dumped it all. And then it took another ride back down to that 110-ish area, 110.50 or 60, and then here we are back towards 112. So clearly that support around 110 is still in play. That means we've still got to keep an eye on this as it works through this level, whether this is going to be a secondary move back to the upside across the next few days, or we're actually going to get a chance to take this out. So definitely keep an eye on Baba as it gets to that 110 area.
Yeah, you mentioned AMD. I mean, we traded Micron. That was a good trade. We should have stayed out of the way of AMD because we just couldn't believe. First of all, we were able to take a little bit of profit early on this name, but then it was just fall. And we haven't even addressed it since. AMD down 3.5% today, continuing to look weak. Look at the NASDAQ back near highs again. I mean, not near highs, but near session highs in the afternoon here. Anyways, making moves back upside. You can see now I'm starting to make higher lows the other way around today to the upside. So you can sort of draw a line here, a nice little move. And then you look at AMD right now, and yeah, unfortunately, it's basically the other way. You draw a line this way as opposed to this way. So right now, AMD under pressure, obviously here. And I think if you're going to do anything with this name, it's probably short any of these pops. But we've seen this name, like yesterday, we were talking, I mean, that was a mistake. I didn't mean to highlight that, but 155 is kind of nice. Yesterday, we had the same kind of action until now. This is 2 o'clock yesterday, the bottom, and then it was like, boom, right up to the upside. So we went up straight. And I was talking about this. I was like, wow, this thing is on one. It just started to go up to the upside, $4 or $5 there. So for AMD right now, it's down here. It's making a nice base. Maybe we can zoom in even a little bit more. It's making a base down here, 148. We did crack lower to 147.50. The problem is like, you know, if this market does rally, I think I'd want to be in a better name than this, something that will rally with the market. It seems like AMD not today. It's friend NVIDIA, so let's take a note of this, 3.38. Let's just see what NVIDIA is. I think it's something similar. Okay, no, see, NVIDIA's battled back. And as you can see, look at the NVIDIA chart, a much different story than AMD. NVIDIA is starting to tick upside right now. You know what? This AMD strength here, this NVIDIA strength actually leads me to believe that maybe AMD gets a little catch up right now. So this might be something to look at right now. AMD to the long side right now. I like this trade. I think you got to buy this in your own account. That's for sure. But for right now, AMD looks like the catch-up trade needs to be on here. So I'm going to go long AMD, and I'm going to give it. I mean, look, my reads have not been good, but I'm going to place some kind of logic here and think that, hey, you know what? I don't know. Now I'm talking myself out of it. Like, if the market fails up here, AMD gets absolutely crushed. So let's leave this alone for now. If anything, if I do think the market's going to keep going upside, I think this is a much better trade, man. Even taking out this level, which is 229. Oh, perfect. 300 right here on NVIDIA. That might be a good level. But for right now, let's check out what Micron's doing, the strong one today. Yeah, so it bounced nicely as well, trying to go back to day's high. So yeah, I would say actually stay away from AMD. I'm going to scratch that thought. Let's look at MU and NVIDIA for key levels. I think I'll test that 300 level.
Big move for Biogen here, guys. BIIB popping up on volume, 5%. It's come off about $5 or $6 already. But yeah, this report's circulating right now. Samsung Group in negotiations to possibly buy Biogen. Deal could be as much as $40 billion. So BIIB, a huge move here.
I'm looking at BIB, and when I looked at it, it was like 500K. There's no way I can step into this. Look at the spread on this thing. It's like at times it's like $2, $1.50. This is absolutely nuts. Now,
and it just ticks up.
Yeah, it just ticks up. Yeah, you have to be willing to put up $1.50 as soon as you get in. You're out $1.50. On top of that, add your risk and your slippage, and it gets very expensive very quickly when it's moving like this. This might be something to play, but not right now. This has got to calm down just a bit before we can actually step into this and actually make a move, because it is absolutely nuts trying to play this with this kind of liquidity and this kind of a spread. So yes, it's going up crazy and it's moving fast and it's up like $25, but at the same time, the game is very dangerous to step in this moment. So I see it. This is not my game. Definitely not getting involved in the BIB.
Yeah, I was going to say, smart move. Is that Samsung you mentioned? Yeah, Samsung Group. Okay, so smart move by them, man. This is a great sector to be in. Biogen, one of the leaders. And look at the depressed share price. I mean, if I'm a Samsung shareholder, I'm like, hell yeah, let's do this thing. Because even if you said 40 billion, I don't know, maybe there's a price target where 40 billion is at. Because I like this deal, man. I mean, you're just at the 50-period moving average. I wonder what the per share price is. If it's, I know it's not official official yet, so I don't expect to have that. But we'll have to see what Biogen's market cap is, do a little bit of multiplication there, because honestly, like, this seems like a great value. Biogen on a nice move upside there. There's been bio talks on this name before. There's no way shareholders will approve this, but this is a great opportunity here. You know, again, like, if you're a shareholder of this company, Biogen, why in the hell would you ever, let's just zoom back over here, why would you ever approve this deal somewhere down here? There's so much more upside. It's in the right space. I like the biopharma. I like Biogen. I think this is great for Samsung. News just breaking right now, 4 minutes ago. So a nice move upside. And I'm with you, Arun. I mean, there's nowhere to trade this until you get more information. I mean, the last thing you want is Samsung to come out. I mean, this is as of KED Global. So I don't even know who that is. KED Global, the news story right now. So, you know, the last thing you want is Samsung to come out and say, nah, pass, that's not us. And then the next thing you know, this thing's all the way back to 240, something like that. So I like this move. I think this is a great buy. You know, as I said, right space, right time, good opportunity for Samsung. I'm not sure what the Samsung, I don't know if they're an ADR or not, if there is a look for them, but I bet you their stock is probably going to the north side a little bit on this news. I just, again, without knowing much about it, normally the buyout, that the acquiring company is going down, but I think this looks like a good buy to me.
So there's, I don't see a group. There's Samsung Electronics, which trades on the OTC market, but I don't see a group. So it's the Korea Economic Daily who is reporting this. So that's that KED. The market cap apparently around 35 billion right now. So 42 billion, or the equivalent of 50 trillion won. Yeah, that's a huge deal if anything like that were to happen. So we'll keep an eye on Biogen here as we go forward. Still popping up on all of my scanners right now. So let's talk Tesla here, guys. Wanted to mention Tesla coming off, obviously, from where we were yesterday. We were talking about 1,100 a little bit again. Elon obviously selling more shares. So there was a little bit of catalyst today for Tesla, but to the downside in the end.
In the end, yeah, rising of song. It doesn't really matter. So 1060, 1070, and I feel silly here to talk about this because I indicated this level early on in the day when we did the show at 8:30 that we wanted to get long if it ever does come into 1070. Well, guess what happened? Not only did it come into 1070, you cracked a little bit lower, even into 1060, into this area, the bottom of the day today. 1064, sorry, and now look what's happening right now to the name. Just nothing but upside here, all the way back to 91. So what a great move that was, you know, buying some of these dips. Sometimes you just got to trust your read. And we would have got paid off handsomely if we had done that. Instead, we're sitting here trading these. I'll talk about some of the other stocks that we've traded, but not making great trades on Peloton. We'll review that. But anyways, Tesla, man, the strong just keep getting stronger. I know Randy's going to come on, and we're going to talk a little bit of automotive with him, but I cannot believe Tesla today. Right to our level, Arun, and then, wow, what a big dump that was at 1020, just straight fire downside. And then since then, it is like, no thank you, resisting that 1070 like a charm all the way back up to the upside. So congratulations to anybody on Tesla today. And I know Ms. V had a big trade apparently. We can find out what that's all about. But into 1100 would be the only spot that I'd short this, and that's $10 higher. So if Tesla wants to keep going, we'll do that, or if we retest back here. But for right now in the afternoon, we've seen yesterday afternoon, this is what it did, basically nothing up and down. Well, I mean, not basically nothing, but for Tesla, stuck in a little bit of a range there yesterday afternoon, 1085 up to 1095. So still $10. But again, if we're just going to play that game, I don't really see it right here. So I'd rather wait until a short into 1100. So I'm going to let that one breathe a little bit. Yeah,
Tesla is one of those names where if you pick the right location, you're going to get paid off well. Now, we both were looking, I was looking at 1075. Sean was looking at 1070. It went as low as 1065, but the general range held, right, which is this area right here. And then now we're getting a nice little move to the upside. This kind of confirms the area you're going to work with. So now we can mark off 1065 as kind of the exact location. And then you're looking for longs. If you're playing Tesla, look for longs in that area and then see if you can get it back into this 1100 as it goes up. The next level of major resistance on the daily is going to be somewhere around 1175. Call it 1170 to 75. So there's almost like $80 worth of upside just on Tesla alone based on where it's at right now. And that's not even if you got the better price down in the 70s. So there's a ton of space to the upside. And I think Tesla's setting up for some form of a move like that. So just keep an eye on it if you are playing Tesla, that it might be setting up on the long side with a decent space to the upside.
All right, it's lesson time. Here we go again. Get your pens and pencils out because we're talking trading terminology once again on the show. One of the most common things we get asked about are individual terms that we use during the live show. And then people email in and say, what do you mean by this? Or what does that word mean? Or how am I supposed to actually do X, Y, and Z when I don't even understand what that means? So we're going to break down some more advanced terminology that we use when it comes to both trading in general and the overall stock market. Guys, let's get started.
Sure. Why don't we start with something pretty simple here? And I mean, simple to us and probably simple to a lot of you viewers. But again, something that you have to understand as an investor. And that's going to be, mine is going to be share buyback, right? We're going to talk about share buyback and then we're going to talk about splits. All right. So right now, share buyback. Chevron has a huge, share buyback program on, as does a lot of companies, Apple, Google. And what that is they're putting money to work. They are buying back shares that are in the market, either given out through the IPO process, giving out to the open market. And basically, it just means they go in and buy back shares. So what they're doing is diluting the total shares outstanding. The reason why a company would do this is A, to take back control of the company, which some of the examples I'm going to give, it's not going to happen, like Chevron and Apple and some of those. They're not going to take back control of the company. But what they're doing is giving less shares out there to trade, meaning that it's a bullish sort of a call. Because if the company wants to put capital to work, why not do it in the form of share buybacks? This is something that a lot of institutions look for companies to do. It shows strength in the company. It shows belief from a management side of things. And right now, Chevron is one of the biggest share buybacks. They've reinstituted it. You can see what Chevron's been doing here on a daily chart, if we can go to that. Big time movement upside here. They announced it, I think it was their last quarter or the quarter before, Chevron instituting back $3 to $5 billion worth per year of share buybacks. So again, what that means is a company is going into the market and putting their own capital to work and buying back shares. I broke down here, this is for global share buybacks this year for 2021. So as you can see here, healthcare, the number one. So again, a lot of companies over this pandemic have been able to raise capital. They have a lot of cash. And really, if they don't know what to do with it, why not just buy your shares back? Put the money to work in the market. Finance, metal and steel, insurance. As you can see, technologies there. That's head by a couple big boys, that Microsoft, Apple, as well, Google, and then down. But you can see right now, healthcare very, very hot. And we just saw that with Biogen grabbing that rumor or whatever from Samsung. So a lot of sort of movement of shares around on the buyback front. So that's what share buybacks are. For me, it's a very, very bullish sign. I love being in names where not only am I buying the shares, but also the company themselves is buying it. And again, it does help. If you go in there and you buy these shares back, it does help your financials, obviously, when you take a look at that. The next thing I want to talk about was share splits, right? Stock splits. So you often hear of a company doing a stock split. The most obvious one here is going to be Apple. Apple's done it a few times. And again, what they're trying to do here is just bring the stock back down into a reasonable price, right? And there's not really any reason to do this other than if Apple just kept on trading at $500, then, it would be $1,000, it would be $3,000, it would be $5,000. And then mentally, as a trader or as an investor, you say, I don't want to get involved in Apple. It's too expensive, but it's not. They're not diluting anything other than they're giving you so if you own one share up here at 500, you now own 5 down here at 100, okay? Apple's was a 7-to-1 split, or was it 5-to-1? I can't even remember anymore. 500 back down here, 130. So 7-to-1 on Apple, splitting back down, right? Coming in, there was Tesla split as well, back to the downside, or 4-to-1 on Apple, sorry, all the way back down to the downside there. And all they're doing is giving you, the shareholder, more shares. So it doesn't have anything to do with market cap, anything at all. The market cap stays the same. Simply the shares outstanding increase 4 times, 5 times. We've seen it with Tesla as well. And then look, is it a negative thing for the stock? Not really. Apple now, reverse splits down here to 120. Now we're up to 179. So if you consider that, that's how high up the stock price would be. So for me, again, doesn't really mean anything other than psychological. But remember, you also now have fractional shares. So you don't have to worry. A lot of platforms now, like Robinhood, I believe, Wealthsimple here in Canada, will allow you to buy fractional shares. There's another kind of stock split here, and we're going to talk about Naked Brands because, you know, a lot of people say, oh my God, you know, Naked Brands was down here at 50 cents. This just happened recently. And I know it's true because our viewers, the same, let's zoom in here, same kind of response. So all of a sudden you're sitting there and you're long at 50 cents. You wake up the next day and the stock is like, oh my God, this is at $7 or $6, whatever it was. You're like, oh my, I've just made the killing. But no, you have not. This is the other way around. So it's a reverse stock split. So they're taking their shares from 40, 50 cents all the way up here in a 15-to-1. So whatever shares you own down here, the shares get divided by 15. So you own 15 shares, you now own 1 share, and you're long back up here at this price. So that's a reverse stock split happens. And the reason why a company would do that is more like because they're in trouble. You don't want to stay below $1. The NASDAQ has listing requirements. Below $1, you can't be under there for a certain amount of days. So as soon as that does happen, that's why this tick right here basically goes to $1, right? And then it comes back in. Whenever that happens, they have to get approval. They get approval from the board to reverse split it to the upside. Normally that's negative. So even if you look at this, although Naked Brands today making a move, as you can see, it's reverse stock splits up to 650, and then 3 days later, the thing's all the way back down to 5. So it's not generally a good thing. It's just adding, taking away shares from this company, the total shares outstanding, and adding them back. So you get that 15-to-1 split on Naked Brands. But there's stock offers, sorry, not offerings, that's share buybacks plus a stock split.
All right, I'm going to do a quick primer on futures because I primarily trade futures on this on the show anyways. When I can, and there's a lot of questions. I imagine most people that are looking at futures for the first time don't know exactly what it is, and they may have questions. So I just want to do a quick explanation here. S&P 500 futures. Now, when you think index or when you see indexes on TV shows or whatnot, everyone's looking at this price right here, the cash spot index, right? That's the actual price of if you were to put all 500 companies together and kind of create a little synthetic basket, this is what you have. This 47.92, that's where the price should be if you were to put all 500 companies together and do that. It's up 0.212%. But now, if you look over to the left of that screen here, this is the December contract of the exact same index, but as a futures contract, you notice a price difference. Now, as a cash composite index, you cannot trade this. So you have to create a way to trade this, and what the market has done, what has been done for the market is we have contracts on one side, and we have the ETF or the spiders, SPY, in the Amex on the other side. Now, for the contract side of things, you'll notice that they're going to be very close in prices because of the way it's calculated, and they're also forward-looking. You have 3 months until they expire. These contracts expire every 3 months, and they have a value associated with them, right? So there's going to be slightly different changes, and there are going to be adjustments. So they're going to be slightly different in prices. But if you ever need to know what you're looking at, you have something to trade the actual cash index, but in a way that's done as a contract that expires every 3 months. And if you need to know the expiration calendar, just go on CME Group. This is the website. Just type in SPY or type in the S&P 500 E-mini contract. You'll notice that this contract, specifically the H contract, the March contract, expires on March 18th. So Thursday, the week before, you're going to have everyone move over to the June contract, and it happens every 3 months, right? And also, if you ever need more information on contract specs or the details on how these contracts are calculated and what their values are, just go into specs on the CME Group website, and you have the units, the times that they trade, because they have their own Globex platform to trade on, and what each point means. So they're clearly, it's not going to be a 1 point difference like stocks are. These are quarter point differences. Each tick is a quarter point. It refers to $12.50 per contract you take. So just be aware that when it comes to contracts, it's just a different way of being able to participate in the index as a whole. But if you are going down that road, you need to know the differences and how they operate. So I suggest you guys take a look at the CME Group website for more information.
All right, one more as we wrap things up here real quick. Beta, guys, want to throw that one out there. You might have heard us say from time to time, oh, this stock is a high beta stock, or the beta on this stock is actually quite low. And that means typically you're going to get more volatile moves. So beta is simply a unit of measurement that compares an individual stock's move to the overall index. So a stock with a higher beta is going to move one in the same or very similar to the overall index. A lower beta stock might get some outside moves, some larger, more volatile moves. So higher beta stocks, simply, the Apples and Microsofts of the world, are going to move and also move and influence the index, whereas some of the smaller, low float, more volatile stocks will have obviously a lower beta as well. So there you go. Lots of good stuff there as far as more advanced trading terminology, guys. Let's maybe talk about one of those right now. I'm keeping my eye on Biogen here, guys. We did test back to day highs there on that last little push up as we were talking, 10.5% now. I don't see anything in addition to this story, but still pushing back to highs. I want to mention Apple because Apple, I was going to say struggling, but it's hard to say it's struggling today. More consolidation might be a better term for Apple today.
I think that's what you got to look at. It's not struggling. Just because the stock isn't flying high like it's been doing for the last few days doesn't mean it's struggling. It's just taking its time. It's in a consolidation period, like you said, Brendan. So is the market. As a whole, even though the market may have spurts of where we kind of sell off by 10, 15 points, it's found a buyer, and Apple's done the same. There's a nice little baseline for Apple to work with, and it's just kind of going sideways. It's been like that, I want to say, for the last couple of days, even though we sold off yesterday in the morning and then caught a bid and sold off again, and then we caught another bid, and same thing happened today. We're still catching bids. That's the whole thing, right? We're catching bids after a strong run. I'm looking out on the other side of the screen here, 5 straight days up until we hit yesterday when we had our first red day. So just like the market, it's gone straight up, and then it's taken some time. Just because it went from 181 high to a 178 half low doesn't mean the market's falling apart or the stock is going down. It's taking its time. It's sitting near that 182, $3 trillion market cap that everyone's looking at. So the longer it takes, the better it is, because it just allows for more buyers to step in and support the bid, as we're already seeing. So right now, it seems like players want to play on the sell side. As the market, every time it gets above 180, there's sellers coming in. Now buyers are willing to step in and show their hand that there's going to be some support sub 179. So now there's going to be a back and forth action until we break out one way. But given where we are, given the end of the year, given the strength of this market and refusing to come back down, you got to argue that Apple's just setting up for a move towards that $3 trillion cap price, just north of 182. So here we are waiting for this to actually get going, just like we are waiting for the market to get going as well. 2 days left, right? Tomorrow, well, I guess 2.5 days with an hour and a half left today until the year end. And there should be some movement. There's no way this is going to stay put as we close into the end of the year, because there will be some move. There has to be some movement as end of the year adjustments are made within the last day. Who knows? But there should be some activity, and we should expect Apple to start making some moves as well.
Yeah, we talked about an interesting stat there that the last time they were at 1 trillion, you had a dip down. When they hit the 1 trillion mark, they had a dip down of approximately 40%. And then at 2 trillion, they dipped down about 20%. And now we're hitting 3 trillion. So maybe the market is about to pull back in. But, I kind of just think Apple's a proxy on the market. If you want to hold a stock that pays a small dividend, that has, in my opinion, tons of tailwinds moving forward. And if you believe in the market, then why not just hold Apple? That's sort of where I am with this. I mean, I don't think it doesn't sort of, you should hold an index name. You should hold the Spiders or the Triple Qs or some sort of an ETF that gives you that exposure to the market. But, to pick one tech name, honestly, I would just pick Apple. It's super solid. It goes with the market, and I'm bullish. So I like Apple moving forward. And I think that any kind of a dip down anywhere near any 50-period moving average, 160 would be fantastic. I'm a buyer of Apple on 80 dips. I've learned my lesson over these years.
All right, let's talk about Rivian a little bit here. We've brought in at Trader TV Randy to give us some insight on not only Rivian. We'll talk a little bit about the EV sector here in general, as well as we head into the new year, what to expect as far as what is to come in 2022. But we got this headline this morning on Rivian from the CEO out late yesterday saying that 2023 now for the extended version of both the truck and the SUV coming from Rivian. My answer to that, hi Randy, how are you?
Good to see you.
Good to see you as well. Welcome back. My answer to that was simply, I think it was around 500. I did the math, but I think it was around 500 and so kilometers per charge on the normal version
Right.
of both the R1T and the R1S. Why do we need to wait for the bigger one?
Good question, and I think the shareholders kind of want to know this too. Let's rewind a little bit. Let's go way back to May 2018 when the R1T and the R1S were initially announced. That was 3 years ago. This is pre-COVID. This is pre-labor shortage, pre-chip shortages, pre-problems. And we can remember that year, December of that year, remember Elon Musk tweeting out that he was lying on his factory floor going through production hell, trying to get the Model Y out the door. So this all predates the Rivian launch. Here we are 3 years later, and I think they're going through the same thing. They're having a lot of issues getting product to their factories, to get the batteries assembled, finding the suppliers, to get the product out the door. Deliveries have just been trickling.
Yeah.
They've got a 19.9 billion cash float, and they're burning through it about a 1.3 billion every quarter, which is, okay, they're a startup. They don't have the balance sheet like Tesla does.
Obviously.
Like Ford does. And don't forget, in that time from December 2018 to now, Ford came out with the electric F-150, which is pre-sold, 160,000 orders. They're only making 80,000 a year. They're 2 years on the order books, sold out. That's going to put a dent in the Rivian landscape a little bit. So they've got a real uphill battle here. Okay, the Cybertruck's not out yet. I think the R1T does look better. However, aside from the standing order with Amazon for the 10,000, I think it was, delivery vans, which we've not seen yet, they got an uphill battle going on here, and I think it's going to be a while before we even see some positive quarterly production numbers, which we've not seen at all yet.
You and I were discussing before we came back on here at 2 o'clock how this is obviously a very highly priced vehicle in the normal version. We're not even talking about the extended version. When it comes to, you mentioned Ford there, when it comes to Ford and GM, we see Ford close above GM's market cap for the first time in 5 years yesterday, both announcing all kinds of new models, all kinds of new efforts going towards this space. What does that mean overall heading into 2022 for the Rivians of the world?
I think Ford, and to put a pun on it, has got the better racehorse. Honestly, they've got the Mach-E. It's sold out. It's selling well. It's well built. It's got great reviews. The F-150 pre-sold 160,000. Just in a matter of weeks, it was gone. Ford's put a big effort and a lot of their cash balance into the EV space. They're doing really well. They're ahead of GM in that department, I think. GM's been a bit of a laggard. Stellantis way behind of the big three. So that's the old FCA Chrysler, I guess it was. Ford's really done well. Ford has a balance sheet. Rivian does not. Tesla's truck is nowhere in sight, and it's not all that pretty, to be honest. I think it's got some Musk revision going on.
He actually, I was reading, I think it was before I went on holidays last week, but I think they took the pricing or the options for pricing off the website for the Cybertruck. So people were kind of saying, okay, well, what does that mean? As
they revise the look of the truck and the underpinnings of the truck, I think that's going to reflect in the overall price. But look at Rivian. It's $78,100 US for the base or the regular battery pack, R1T. Whoops.
Randy's throwing stuff.
That's 100,000 Canadian dollars for the base model.
Yeah.
The Ford F-150, 50,000 US.
Which is, still 60, 70.
That's a big difference.
Yeah.
People know what Fords look like. They're happy with the product. Ford, again, has got a great history and a great pedigree behind it. Rivian, who's Rivian? Where do you see their commercials on TV, their sales channel, their marketing channel? Doesn't seem to be as prominent. Not that Tesla's on every channel and does a lot of advertising itself, but they've built their brand value.
They don't have to.
They've built their brand name, and you've got Elon Musk tweeting left, right, and center. Rivian, not so much.
All right, so here's a question. Going into 2022, can Rivian be a going concern, I guess is the best way to put that, taking on the Fords of the world, being the quote-unquote truck SUV EV maker?
They need to get products on the street so people can see them in traffic jams and see them sitting on lots and see them at, wherever you're driving. Oh, there's a new Rivian. You don't see that right now. Yes, the F-150 electric's not out, but it looks just like every other F-150. The product's well known. Rivian needs to get on their deliveries. They need to come out with positive quarterly delivery results and get it out to shareholders and get it out to the public. Waypoint, their charging network, nowhere to be seen. They need to get on that. This is part of their cash burn at 1.3 billion a quarter. On top of that, the R1S, which is their SUV, and the names aren't great.
No.
They could really improve on the names. The Mach-E, the Porsche Taycan, the Hyundai Kona. Like there's a zillion electric SUVs from Audi and the rest of them already on the market. They're already shipping. They're a lot cheaper than the Rivian. and they're already out there. So battery pack problems aside, they need to sort out their production hell and get on with the show and get some product on the street. On top of that, pricing, we'll have to see. I mean, how well are these going to really sell when they're that priced that high?
Yeah.
I don't know about the actual market for $100,000 pickups. You know, is your average contractor going to go buy one of these? Maybe not. Do you want a really, really fast 3-second pickup truck? Go buy a Rivian.
And how long is it going to take before we get a electric version of an Escalade or an electric version of a high-end SUV, larger SUV? Because this is a big SUV.
It's a big SUV. The Fisker Ocean's a little bit closer, I think, on the date. They're talking the late 2023. I love the Ocean. Yes, I pre-ordered one. We'll see. I don't know. The larger SUVs are primarily catering to the U.S. market, every like 7-seaters and big families. In Europe, it's a different story. They like the smaller SUVs, the smaller footprints, the streets are narrow and so forth. So it's primarily an American market they're chasing. However, they've also got their commercial deliveries to Amazon and some other things they need to take care of first. We need to see these products on the road, and right now we don't. I'm guessing probably the middle to the third quarter of 2022 before we see any positive results. What's that going to do to the stock? Right now, we're not far from their IPO price. The IPO was 78, I think.
Yeah.
And today we're at...
I think it was above 100 last time I checked, but we'll
they
see.
need to stop the cash flow burn and get some products on the street and sort out their production hell. And that'll give the shareholders a bit of confidence. Right now, I don't see this very bullish. I don't.
IPO came with a lot of fanfare because of the Amazon and Ford, let's be honest, Ford angles here. So we'll see what happens. Going to be an exciting year for Rivian, going to be an exciting year for the entire EV space. He is at Trader TV. Randy, thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Good look at Rivian, guys.
If Randy could just stay there for a second, I actually wanted to ask you, Randy, you know, based on where Rivian is now, it's only at $100. You know, it's been well down. It's well off, obviously, these highs that we've hit. You can't recommend a buy in the first couple of days because it just gets parabolic on some of that and then comes right back in. But right now, we're kind of building a base. And I know that, you know, maybe stock picking isn't something that we have you on here for, but would you buy Rivian at some of these levels? Randy, do you think it's worth, you know, that it could get this bump upside? I mean, I'm still thinking that Amazon story is not over yet. I expect them to, you know, to purchase, get some of these trucks on the road, and then that's when sort of, like you said, the advertising and all that will come through. It'd be kind of wicked to see a Rivian truck go down with like big Amazon logos on it and things like that. What's your opinion of current state, maybe now of Rivian? Is this maybe something that you might nibble into here from a share price standpoint?
Sean, I think the upside is there, but it's not there now. The Amazon deliveries aren't going to really bump their stock because the general public can't buy them. It's a commercial-only vehicle. They need to embrace the public retail sector and get the R1T and the R1S on the road, and then the general population goes, ooh, nice truck. Then they can get their production, hopefully, and their marketing and their sales channels starting to show positive quarters. The Amazon 10,000 vans, like what's 10,000? They can make that in a month if they had full production going. But getting, like, what's Tesla? What do we say, every 38 seconds they're rolling out a car? Rivian needs to get the Amazon order through and get it over with, but it's the retail sector they need to embrace. If they can't do that till the middle of next summer, I'm not going to be that bullish on this. The upside is there, but it's a far ways away yet. They've got a lot of production problems they need to sort out. I would be a little cautious on that.
All right, yeah, cool. Yeah, that makes sense. I was trying to get into some Rivian, but again, I was sort of thinking about buying Amazon instead of Rivian for now, and then seeing if there's some flow through there. But I agree with you, man. It's all about the consumer. So thank you, Trader TV, Randy. Oh, and by the way, there's some talk about this. I've known you, Randy, for 20-something years. And for some reason, I never thought that you looked like the white ice cube. But now people are saying that is what you look like. So I don't know. Maybe I'm going to have to look at that, but that's a good one. Thank you, Trader TV. Why don't we flex? What shirt you got on there, Randy? There it is, yeah, the Trader TV Live right there. So thank you, Randy, for coming through one more time. Randy Bucking at Trader TV. Randy, thank you so much, my friend.
Now that somebody says that.
I want to talk about, I am short currently Rivian right now. So I don't know. Let's see where this goes here into this 99.50. We've been short Rivian early. We took a little bit of profit, then lost on this trade right there when we got out. But now Rivian, we're going to see what happens to the upside. These are all shorts. We did talk about liking the short through 100 now to the downside. But yeah, we're going to see what happens here. 98.60, maybe a breakdown below 98.20, 98.30 there. there. What a good trade. Hopefully, this will turn out to be for Rivian. We're just going to give it to $100, man. I mean, that's it. So we'll average into that trade, but Rivian, I like this trade up to $100 right here.
Yeah, so a couple of trades I've got. I heard Pratt in the background yell AMD. Yeah, I've been in AMD for a while now. 149.33 in the morning show around 11 o'clock is when I got in. Still in it. So we're out 68 cents as it's making its way back. So that read that I had earlier this morning is still in play. It never broke its level, so we're still good. Obviously, it was underwater for a bit, but now it's coming back, so we'll leave it alone. And yeah, I finally stepped into BIIB. Went for the short. So it's just south of 260. I was keeping an eye on this area around 265. The action I'm getting, this is the area I was looking at here. The action I was getting, I was waiting for the spreads to start closing in, and now we're getting that, it's backing off. What I'm thinking is, although this deal may be great, it might be a little too overeager. People might be too overeager and pushing this further than it needs to be. So that's the play I'm making, that it at least comes back a little bit. I can be wrong, but if I'm going to be wrong, I need them to take out this entire zone here. So 270 is... it's going to be pricey, right? Obviously, I'm taking less shares because of the price, the aggression, and the risk profile associated with this trade. But I'm putting the stop about north of 270, see if we can get a move back down towards 250. But the play is on the short side, at least for now. If spreads start opening up, if things start getting a little bit more volatile, I may start just walking away from this trade. But for now, I am on the short side on BIIB.
Today is a good day. So thank you so much to Randy for coming through there. And yeah, the knowledge he shares with us, we're going to try to have him on more if we can there, Randy. And thank you for coming in. He was a little nervous to come on. I think he killed that. So thank you so much, Randy, who's been on before. We actually had our own Randy graphic. Rob, Rob's busy right now, but we do have a Randy graphic, which was pretty cool because he used to be on a little more often than now. Oh, that graphic's been retired. Okay. Yeah, me too, my man. So me and Brendan very upset about that graphic. Yeah, we'll just go, what's up with that? We should have had that graphic. All right, 99, Rivian getting close right now. We will get stopped out at 100, but we do like that short, so we can hopefully have that one coming through very, very soon for Rivian. It's been a really nasty day here for Ethereum, this is Bitcoin. We'll talk about Ethereum in a minute, but Ethereum right now, just to talk, let's talk about Ethereum quickly. Actually, this is Bitcoin. Let's just do this. You could see what a little dump down here, man. 48,000, testing 47 right now. A level to look out for here on Bitcoin. I thought we looked at 45 before, but it's this 46. This is only a 3-minute chart. Let's zoom this out a little bit to a 1 hour. Yeah, so it's down into here. It's even north of 45. 45.5, something like that, looking to build a base back in here. So Bitcoin still does have a little bit of room to run here on the downside, I think, anyways. And then this is the big surprise for me today. Yeah, Arun would look good with a Tupac bandana. Maybe we'll get him to wear that in a minute or later on. I don't think so. All right, so back down to the downside. We already bounced. So this is the level that I'm looking at to bounce at. I'm actually going to be I will pick up some Ethereum probably tonight. Let's see how this reacts. But let's see what happens near 3,700. I mean, it's close enough right now at 3,724. We're doing the show. I'm not going to log in and buy more crypto right now, but this is something that maybe if you wanted to look at it, this is a 3-minute chart. Check the daily here on Ethereum. It's making, I mean, this is not that bad, but crypto's had its worst month in December. I believe we're down 17 or 18% or so in Bitcoin. I'm not sure what it's going to be on Ethereum. It's down 1,000 on 5. So yeah, almost the same, about 20% down here. But some of these pullbacks are healthy. It's just going to give us an opportunity to see that there are buyers at lower levels, right? And so watch out for Ethereum. That was a nasty day down here. We were trading that live down to 3,300, but we can look at 35 again for Ethereum, but I'm more interested in 37, looking to hold that right now. But it has not been a good day. Today is not a good day for crypto names, so got to watch out for that. That reminds me, let's go over. I'm trying to short more Rivian, guys, but it's not till 70. It just went there to 64, so that's another call there. Let's just check out Coinbase quickly. Yeah, back down to 252. This is one of the better moves that I've made, man. I sold Coinbase at 360. Probably a good opportunity to buy it back. It's kind of, again, one of those things where Coinbase will follow crypto a little bit. So as you can see, if you go back to December, let's call it right here, December 1st or so, 284. So you give that down 20% on 280. is down about another $50. So you could see we did touch some of those lows. So Coinbase acting very similar to the crypto market these days might be an awesome opportunity to pick some Coinbase up right at these lows if you do think crypto is about to bounce and you don't want to hold a physical coin. So I don't mind Coinbase at these levels.
All right, Mike Rian, hi, I see you again with the chat stirring things up. Yeah, that's not happening though. No nose piercing, no bandana. I'm just gonna
nose piercing.
I'm just gonna look at you guys with a straight face.
That would be the best, man. Why don't you get one of those? What is Tupac has one of those belly tattoos?
Yeah.
I forget what it says. That would be kind of cool. You might be able to get
Thug
one of those.
Life, I believe.
Isn't it Thug Life? Yeah. Well, that is
Life.
your life. You do live Thug Life, right? So
hey.
There we go. North York, Thug Life. Me, Prad, Brendan, and Neil, all representing Brampton. So I'm from the streets of Brampton, probably the most thug out of everybody, although Trader Prad tries to take me out on that every day. So shout out to Trader Prad, shout out to everybody from Brampton. What's up to the Bramptonites there also. And if Natalie, if you're watching, hopefully we get you back in here ASAP. And yeah, so we have 4 of us here from Brampton. So.
Brendan? No. Okay. I have one thing. Bradley Taylor asked me a question. I've been meaning to answer this. It's a trading related question, so everyone can learn from this. What do you do when you're wrong on a stock multiple times? Now, I have the perfect example for you, but this is across multiple days, though. Airbnb. Now, I went for the long yesterday. Didn't look good, got out, so I was wrong in that read, or just kind of changed my read. And then today I was completely wrong by going long around 169 and it ended up getting out around 167. So, because for me, this is spread out across multiple days, I can, be content with the reads that I'm making. It's just not working out, or the reads are slightly off. But if I'm making multiple hits, or I'm taking multiple hits on the same stock in the same day, then something about that is not right. Like you're not analyzing the stock, or the stock is just not cooperating with your reads for today. That just means you back off. Now, if you keep doing that day over day, like I've done in the past with Moderna, I just completely avoid the name itself. I walk away from Moderna. I don't trade Moderna as a whole now, just because I cannot get a handle on how it moved, how it trades. So for me, that's one of those stocks that I just put on the no-go list and walk away from, right? So it depends. Are you just wrong today because you're not seeing it right? Or are you wrong multiple times across multiple days, at which point you're just not seeing the stock right as a whole? So at that point, you just walk away from the stock. If it's just like a couple times here and there, it's not that big of a deal. You just, reset, come back another day and see if you can get a handle on it. But yeah, I think if it's a recurring pattern, then that's something you've got to kind of realize and then cut it off right away so you don't waste your time and your money in one stock which is not cooperating with the way you see the market, right? So that's kind of like going back to what I do with the futures. I trade the S&P 500 futures because I can get a read on the S&P 500 better versus the E-mini Dows or even the NASDAQ. I'm pretty decent with the NASDAQ on the dailies, but intraday-wise, not really. S&P, I'm great with the intraday, so I kind of focus there. So go where you're good at making the analysis. Brendan?
0.1%.
Is it not Brendan? I heard something.
Hi. No, we're good. Our friend, they're coming fast and furious this afternoon. Justin Kozach now in the hot seat to discuss a few hot topics for us once again this afternoon. We've been keeping our eye on this Apple story throughout the day. When it comes to Foxconn, I was just reading apparently now they're going to shift some of their production from India to Vietnam, right. Which I guess is to alleviate some of the delay or potential delay from this shutdown, which is now going to last until January 3rd. And this is already a week old or a week and a half old, I think.
This story kind of started on December 18th, so just a week before Christmas, and now we're 4 days beyond that. So the story is 250 people were treated for food poisoning, 159 of them were hospitalized, and apparently, like I read a report there that 8 of the women that were treated or were hospitalized have now gone missing.
Wow.
So not sure what's going on there. Hopefully they are okay, and hopefully they will be able to return to their families soon. Not the first time that Foxconn has kind of been in the news. They struggled in 2010. There was a series of suicides at their factory in Shenzhen. So there was certainly no stranger to poor working conditions and housing conditions and that sort of thing. So hopefully whatever is going on there, they can resolve that. So, but that's certainly going to have a pretty big impact on production.
Yeah, and now Apple comes out this morning saying they've put Foxconn on warning, whatever warning means when it comes to I guess, the production that comes from Foxconn of the iPhone.
Right. So Apple has this sort of almost like a standards guide when it comes to there's their third-party suppliers or assembly factories, and evidently this the subpar food and housing issue that has sparked all these protests is in violation of this these standards that Apple has set out. So this is likely the reason why they are putting the pause on any production in this particular area, and obviously shifting it to other factories and other assembly plants around the world to kind of make sure they can keep up with product demand.
We've been keeping our eye on some of the social media stocks today. Meta has given you a few opportunities. I mean, Twitter is very quiet. I just checked it out, not really doing a lot. But there's this whole social media trust issue that is being discussed throughout Washington still. There was more headlines today about Facebook specifically, and some political type moves that they've made on purpose, allegedly, suggesting that they're looking to kind of lean one way or the other, depending on, I guess, how you set up your Facebook page.
Interesting. Yeah, I'm always like, I have Facebook. I try to use it as little as possible for a lot of different reasons. But one of the things that I thought was particularly interesting is that 72% of Americans say that they have very little or no trust in Facebook when it comes to securing their personal data, which is a very large percentage. Now that sample size is 1,122 adults, including 1,058 internet users. So certainly not indicative of...
Not a huge number.
Not a huge number. Certainly not reflective of America as a whole, but I think that's a pretty decent sample size, a lot smaller than I thought it would be. But what they said that was particularly interesting that I thought was worth noting is that 10% of surveyed individuals said that they believe Facebook has a positive impact on society, whereas 56% said that has a negative. So when you only have 1 in 10 who believe that there's value in using the platform, and yet, of those people, 3 times of them said, or 3 times as many said it had a negative impact versus positive, that tells you kind of where the sentiment lies. And I think that a lot of that just has to do with the spread of misinformation, disinformation, particularly around, the recent, well, not the recent election, but the January, the previous federal election in the United States, as well as certainly what we've seen with the pandemic. So this is driving a lot of that sentiment. Of course, the issue with trust and data really comes down to Facebook and the twice yearly scandal they have around this piece of data, or this bit of data got leaked, or that bit of personal information was leaked. So this is certainly an ongoing kind of thing for them. How they're going to fix that, I don't know. That's they don't pay me for that. That's Zuckerberg's job.
I was going to say, never fear, because everyone's favorite Zuckerberg probably has a plan. Disney, quickly, just to wrap things up here. I mean, it's also not doing anything today, but Mandalorian fans rejoice because there's a new season.
The Book of Boba Fett, season 3 of The Mandalorian starts tonight. I'm really excited. I mean, I loved the first 2 seasons, thought they were really well done, and very interested in seeing how that all goes. So hopefully we'll be able to watch that tonight. So this is the way.
Justin Kozach, at Day Trade the World, or at Trader TV, Justin, I should say. He's the Day Trade the World marketing guy, is what I meant to say here. Thank you so much, as always.
Thank you.
Sean and Neil. I mean, Neil's the resident self-proclaimed quote-unquote nerd around here, but Sean, you're a fan of Mandalorian.
Yeah, I like that. I like Mandalorian. I didn't think this was like the 3rd season. I think this is almost something completely separate, but I'll leave that to Justin to say that it's maybe is the 3rd season. But I'm excited for it. I didn't even realize I'm not a self-proclaimed nerd, but I was not even aware that it was happening tonight. Have you ever watched any Mandalorian? I mean, I think it's a great series. And I'm going to save that for tomorrow when we talk about Disney. And I think that there's a lot of opportunity in Disney stock just because of some of the content that they have coming out.
Yeah, well, I was a little late to the party. Mandalorian came out, and I think I was like, by the time I started watching it, I was like, okay, I should probably see what all the hype is about. It was already on the 2nd season, so I got late to the party. It's actually pretty good. I enjoy watching it. I still got to watch some other shows that came out. WandaVision is something I haven't watched yet.
Ooh, I saw WandaVision.
That's something I got to watch. There's some other one, the Hawkeye one. Not the Hawkeye one. I haven't started that one. The other one, Winter Soldier, Falcon, that one?
Yeah. I haven't seen. Yeah.
That one I haven't watched yet either. So I'm a little behind when it comes to these shows, but I think should be interesting, at least now that I know Mandalorian Season 3 starts. I should definitely
I
get
don't
on
think
that.
it is. I don't think it is
Or
season 3. I mean, maybe you guys can
next
tell me
version.
there about that one. But yeah, I did not watch. WandaVision was pretty cool, man. It was like very different than all the other ones. But I definitely am a big fan of said WandaVision. So that was a good one. And I didn't have a chance to look at Hawkeye yet. So that was another name there. But yeah, we'll talk about Disney tomorrow. I do like, obviously, all of their. I mean, I'm just sitting here trading and talking at the same time as we just got out of some of our Rivian right there. And look at that pickup, man. Thank you to Mr. Randy for his analysis there on Rivian. Since we don't have his graphic, we'll just do Brendan right there. But there's the short there, 99.70. We've been shorting Rivian the whole way and taking some profit on this name. So it could be a negative stock for us today if obviously if this takes out 100. But I'm going to see about Rivian right now. You see the market just turned green. And that's funny because I said that. Like people, even during Prad's show there, were like, oh, the Santa Claus rally, yeah, where is it? But I mean, we're fine. The Santa Claus rally's here, man. It's been here for a week. We had one mishap yesterday, and that wasn't even that bad. That's like a blip on the schedule there. So we'll see what happens now to the upside. You can see still, man, higher lows being made on the NASDAQ all the way. Let's check out quickly. I don't have my earpiece in, so if there's anything happening, someone throw something at me or just do that normally. But Rivian right there. And the other name I wanted to look at quickly, was AMC. What a run for AMC today. Unfortunately, I got out, man. We got out of AMC right here. But this has been a #1 stock for me today. It actually is by net. Well, MU and AMC right now battling each other. Micron and AMC for the #1 stock for me on the day. We did just short there, that pop into these pre-market highs. So we short that pop right there. See if AMC loses a little bit of steam here into the close. But I'm looking to get out some at 90, and then we'll see if we can hold the rest for the downside. But AMC, one of my top stocks today, only going long. We didn't have it there. Wish we did, man, because another build up there to defend that 27 level. So I really like AMC here, but I'm just playing a quick short. I mean, we're going to get blown out if it takes out 50. So, we'll give back here. Like I said, the R to R, risk to reward here is about 1-to-1. We'll see if we get some out at 90. That'll be about 30 cents. And if we lose at 50, then that will be about 40 cents. So a little bit worse here. But again, we are hoping for a bigger dump down. First take here, 1-to-1, 27.90 on this name.
All right, just an update with BIB. I've cashed out. This trade makes me nervous as it is, given the way it moves around. I took it because the spread closed down. There's a nice little area to work with around 265. But as soon as I start to see hesitation on the way down, we were getting down to 257, and we really hesitating there. There's some volume coming in. I gave it a chance, I really did, but then at this point I was like, you know what, I don't need to put the risk that I'm putting up. It's a high risk trade as it is, and then I'm starting to get some signals that, you know what, maybe this is not the greatest short at this moment. So I was able to close the spread and get a 50-cent winner by hitting the bid. I'm not even hitting the bid, by entering the bid. And I got hit fairly quickly, so here I am walking away with a 50-cent winner. We'll just take that, walk away, forget the $10 risk and forget the $10 read, but we can just be happy that we're out of the way on BIB. It does look like it might be building up some more buy-side volume. Maybe take another look at those highs. Brendan?
A couple other things worth noting, guys. GameStop just popping back up on volume there. There's also this Codex DNA, which is DNAY is the ticker. So this was about 2 o'clock. They entered into a research licensing deal with Pfizer. So a nice little ramp up here for this DNAY. Volume coming in right now, in fact, around $9 for that one.
All right, well, we will look at DNAY in a minute here, as I think my headset's probably working. Okay, here comes AMC right now. What am I bidding? I thought I was bidding 90. Oh yeah, I'm bidding 92. So we'll see if it can crash down here. We will take a first piece out for AMC. And again, a trade that we've taken with you live here, as well as Rivian. So we got the back-to-back shorts there, and we got to take advantage of it because the market right here is starting to dip down a little bit. So, wow, I've already made like almost 200 fills today on all these names. So we're trading like a maniac in a market that I was like, even on the sticky note, I was like, trade lightly today. And I'm just like, okay, so we'll see what happens. I can't get enough of this stuff. So 27.90. We're just trying to, and we talked about this a little bit, you don't need to trade like a maniac because it's the end of the year. Like some people are like, I need to hit certain goals by the end of the year. No, you don't, man. Just trade what you see, trade your setups. And I hope that's one thing that we can all learn a little bit from what we've done here at Trader TV Live is like take what's given to you, right? And right now I'm going to do exactly that. I'm going to bid 96. So I was waiting for 92. We'll take out a 96. It might not seem like a decent winner for you guys, but we're going to do that. We'll hit the carnival right now because that's a good winner for us. Just taking right now, at 15, out down here in 90s. Depends on your share size, but for me, that's a win, and I'm going to take that all day right there. Half out, we'll average back in if it takes out the top. The reason why I'm a little nervous, honestly, that AMC could retest these highs, especially on this move in the NASDAQ downside there. If NASDAQ can bump back, probably so does AMC. But look at Rivian right now. Rivian starting to pay off a little bit here, back into the downside. So we now have on board a 70-cent winner here for RIVN, and we talked about trying to short that. It's right back into the spot. Where's my bids, man? I don't even have any bids right here. So let's put a bid out now. Ooh, a nice little move down. If we can take that 87, we will do that. But sitting there on that, there it is. Yes, runs us over, and we do get a fill right there on Rivian. So now we're going to watch this thing go back to the downside. My next bid was at 98.40, which was down here, a break of this VWAP. But yeah, Rivian, let's go, man. Ballin', and apparently last night only 10,000 fans at the Raptors game. I had to turn down because the kids were in the building and we had some things planned. I turned down 6th row seats yesterday. Yeah, is what it is. Turned that down, got a late notice, or else I would have given it to everybody else. It was one of our friends' chats, so shout out to you, very, very kind of you, but I had to turn it down. So that would have been amazing to go to that game. But unfortunately, you got to sort of take the risk with the rewards right now. Another smile.
You know why? Because I've got a story.
Okay, let's go.
Because you were talking about the basketball game. So my brother-in-law had box seats for the game, and he chose not to go because they wouldn't be serving food.
That was my next thing. I let you speak, and then that was the next thing. So right now there's no concessions, no booze, no nothing for sporting events like. That's what our government right now is doing. So I don't like that decision, but that was one of the reasons why I turned it down as well secretly. So. Okay.
Got to get the food at the games, man.
Well, I mean, you're going to sit there, honestly, to see, like, the Raptors team is depleted. I don't even know who they're facing. Cleveland? No, it wasn't Cleveland. Somebody last night. Oh, Philly. Actually, that would have been a good game. But some of the players aren't even playing, right? So that's another reason maybe not to do that. But that's a good one. Let's just keep on going here. Rivian to the downside. Good thing we took that out there at 87. Well, not good thing. It's right back at that level. We'll see if it continues to fall down here. That's going to be Rivian for me. The other trade we have on right now, and this is a decent winner. You might not think this is good, but we took a decent amount of shares here on FCell. So now we'll see what happens as it's starting to come back down. We do have a 3-penny, 4-penny winner on this one, and I think we'll probably get some more out at 15. Just topping out the day right now, right? All we're sort of doing when 3 o'clock hits is, where's this thing here? If we can, we are trying to either let the money go this way or out of our pocket, but we're not putting on a whole hell of a lot of risk, as this is a very, very dangerous time to trade because the days, especially on low volume, the days just trying to settle out. And it's, sometimes we look for bigger moves and they just don't come at this time of day. So we do have the imbalances at 350, of course.
Yeah, as I walk away from BIIB, there it goes, right? Okay, great timing, great reads. Well, I went for the short. Someone called me brave for going for the short, but I mean, that's just, it was in the area where I was already looking at 265-ish area, and then we start to get some sell side action. I'm going to take a shot. And then we start to lose that read, so walk away from it. And now it's going back towards that 265, it looks like. It's at 263 right now. But that read's done. We're walking away from it. And someone was asking, why didn't I take the exit out on AMD for flat? I mean, I would have still lost like 30 cents up here. But the thing is, though, it's like I'm not playing to be flat. I'm playing for the read to work out. So regardless of whether it's up or down or whatever it's doing, I'm going to let the read play itself out. Now, AMD, the read I'm making here is a long off of this area, that 146. Now, I went long, obviously, in the 149s. May have been a little early, but at the same time, the read is the read, and I'm going to let it work until it fails or until I get new information. And there's nothing new that's telling me that, you know what, it's time to walk away. There's times when I make a read and I'm like, you know what, it's not right just yet. Like up here, I took AMD earlier, same read around 150, and then something didn't feel right with the amount of selling that was coming through the top end. So I walked away from that, and then it kind of reset my read back into the 149.50 after we kind of tried that 148. So that's the play that I'm making, and I'm not always trying to, just because I'm down doesn't mean I'm trying to walk away with a smaller loser. I'm gonna let it work. I'm either gonna make money by letting it work, or I'm gonna lose money by letting it work. And regardless of how it goes, I can trust in what I've developed. and how I kind of analyze things. So I'm just going to let it work. And if AMD doesn't want to work for me today, that's fine. I'm still going to be net positive even with an AMD hit because I made money on BABA, AMAT, and BIIB. Just crossed me over put me over the top there. The big hit that I have today is Airbnb. We talked about the Airbnb loss from this morning, that 1,469.50 and change that completely just failed. That's my big hit. Obviously, I have a NEO hit as well for like 20 cents or something. But apart from that, we're just going to let AMD do its thing. Maybe we get an imbalance that pushes it up. Maybe it doesn't and it actually goes back down. Regardless, though, I will follow whatever my system is. And I hope a lot of people kind of get that message there. Develop a system and then follow it. Otherwise, you're kind of shooting yourself in the foot because you're always interfering by making adjustments or trying to overanalyze or trying to kind of jump in front of your own little thing that you've built up for yourself. And you're not letting the numbers play out. I think I talked about this last time. You've got to build a system, know what the probabilities are, and then trust that those probabilities will work out and let you be positive by the end of, say, 10 trades or 100 trades. For me, in this case, I've traded 1, 2, 3, 4. I've traded 7 names. I'm positive on 4 of them, right? And AMD is going to be the one that's still up in the air, and I'm going to be negative on 2. So you just got to let it play out. So net positive, that's all you can do. You can't protect everything, but you got to let them work, though.
The play is going to play. So, you know what I'm saying? So just shake it off, Arun. Don't worry about it, okay? Arun has no idea where that's from, but do you?
Justin probably does.
Just good. So he knows. Good one there. Mr. Arun is in the building, but not for long. And that brings me to my next point. The man, the myth, the legend, the man who was locked in the Playmaker's basement, Neil Roberts, is back on Friday. So I can't wait to see him again. Good friend of mine. Obviously, we've been friends for 25 years, maybe a little bit more. More than that, I think. Shout out to Neil. I hope you're enjoying your vacay. Actually, as such a good friend of mine, I don't even know when he lands, but we'll see. He's going to be coming back into, he's out east right now visiting his brother, and I know he's definitely enjoying his time there. Shout out, I won't say his brother's name, but shout out to you as well. Another good friend of mine, so I hope everyone's doing well. But Neil is back in the building come Friday. So thank you, Arun. You have one more day here, and then you can get back to destroying the futures market by your lonesome.
Freedom.
Freedom for Arun. So we'll do a little Santa Claus rally. Thank you for coming out today again as the market just turned green for the day. And I don't know, we're sitting here trading. You could see AMC really, we've put on 2 trades for you since this market, or since we were back on the show. First one, or 2 of them, Rivian. I just put this on just as we came on to market here, back onto the show at 157. We took a short at 99.50. Then we just got it at 99.75, 72 or whatever it was. Nothing significant about it. I trade around the 50, like there's the quarters, that's 99 even, that's the 50s, and there's 75. So I just trade around the quarters, up, and then down. Same kind of thing again. It hits 75, there we get out. Hits 90, there we're out, so on and so forth. So let's see if Rivian can't keep retracing itself back down to the downside here. So that's a play that I'm looking at right now, obviously, and I'm excited to make it. So let's see where Rivian goes here the rest of the day, bidding low 98s.
Somebody asked me when my first trade was. March of 2006 was my first trade. And I think it was like 100 shares of Bank of America or something, and it was out 5 cents. I remember making that trade. Obviously, a lot of people should remember their first trades. And I was scared because I was out 5 cents. Imagine that, eh? 16 years later, here we are.
And you probably had like 100 shares.
What's that?
Like you probably had like a small amount of shares.
Yeah, 100 shares.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what we had as our bare minimum. And I was out 5 cents, and I was absolutely terrified. That was my first live trade.
So there you go. So bare minimum share trading there at 100 shares. So yeah, that's a great story there. And those experiences are what it's all about, right? And it's just funny how much better you get at risk management and things like that as you get experience in the market. And I think that although both of us sitting here, we both have a trade on right now. It's the experience really that matters. And we say that all the time. Miss V, the growth that she's had in trading Tesla and just in understanding. I remember when we first hired weird, Ms. V. Even in the interview process, it was like, huh? And she'll be the first to admit that. I don't think she knew anything about the stock market, basically, other than some research for the interview. And then next thing you know, now she's knowing the terms and doing an absolutely fantastic job. And in fact, making money trading. So I think that the more time you spend paper trading and with experiences like that, making your first big loss, like, you know, that means a lot. My first loss was 17 grand. Hey, what's up, Ms. V? And I remember that was just like, oh my God, what am I going to do? And then since then, I mean, look, I still never want to lose $17,000. But at the same time, you know, you have opportunities to make more than that, lose more than that. And it's about, honestly, the way your heart feels. And I think that's while you're in the trade. After the trade, it's over. It's over with. You either want to we can go through those emotions as well, but it's the adrenaline rush that you get when you're in that big trade and expecting something that I really, you know, get to appreciate more and more. I don't know, sort of at a loss for words for that, but I think you guys all know what I mean. It's just you got to get that feeling of real money on the line, and it's joyful when you make it, and then it really sucks when you lose it. So that's helped me understand risk management just a wee bit better. Before we go to Brendan here, AMC is coming back down to the downside right now. 27.50 is what we're looking at right here on AMC. Oh, by the way, I went on to have 12 and a half years of no negative months. So that was big. Actually, that 17,000 is in one of those years. So anyways, let's go back over to Brendan as AMC is starting to go to the downside.
Yeah, a few things coming off a little bit from recent highs anyways. FCell, one of those guys, we mentioned this one this morning, coming off disappointing earnings. So got back up to 520. Looks like it's going to be failing. Also, Arun, I just noticed Biogen with a nice move back down.
Well, I mean, the read was...
Look at FCell.
The read was like, you know, it was timed well, but the buying is there. And you have to respect the buying if it comes in. We went to 263, fell off towards 256, and now we backed off to the 256 and back to 258. So the buying is still there. So you know what? Even though, yes, I could have made a few bucks instead of the 50 cents, I could have made an extra couple bucks on this trade. I'm perfectly happy. I know where my reads are, and if I start to see signs that this may not work out the way I want them to, I'm perfectly happy walking away with a small win. A small win for me is better than even a small loser, because it means I should have gotten out, which I didn't, right? So I'd rather just walk away from this trade and just be content. Now, I will put this on the radar for tomorrow, because at some point throughout the night into pre-market tomorrow, there's going to be something that happens, because there's a lot of volume going on between that 265 and that bottom end seems to be around 256, 255 based on what we just did. So definitely something's going to happen as we kind of trade throughout the night, maybe more confirmation as the South Korean market opens up and Samsung gets a chance to kind of verify and talk about what, you know, verify everything that the rumors are. Or if they, do we know if it's confirmed? No, right? It's just the it's just the newspaper, right? Okay, so it's just, for now, it's just a rumor. Maybe Samsung comes out, confirms the actual deal and the price, at which point you're going to see a big move in BIB. For now, though, I'm perfectly happy walking away. What's that? You don't think it'll be cash?
Nah, they'll give some shares for that. That seems like a little bit of a juicy price. 40 billion cash. What's up, OG1 Kenobi? Nice little sticky note winner. Yes, sir. FCell, again, man, we talked about that off the sticky note today. Another winner, chicken dinner. We talked about shorting FCell all day long, and there it is right here. Look at this. Boom. We talked about, I'm 3 for 3 for y'all here in the afternoon as we took Rivian short. Bang, dollar in the money. Just took some more out on that Rivian short right now. Boom, right there. I'm not going to wait for this. There's only 40 minutes left. The market's not doing anything. I have a dollar in the money. We're taking that. We're booming it on AMC as well to the downside. Boom, right there. And then there's a nice little trade for FCell. Yeah, hell yeah. Stack here in the afternoon. What's up, Mr. Wickens?
It's almost like they were listening or something. This was a couple minutes ago, but the company coming out saying, we do not comment on market rumors or speculation. That's Samsung Group in regards to this rumor, guys.
I mean, literally rewind the tape to when he brought that story out, and that's when you and we talked about the spread. I mean, that's ballsy. I can't believe you took that. Good job. But at the same time, very, very risky, because it's just coming from a newspaper, and just like PayPal. Remember when PayPal and Pinterest, and it was like, Pinterest all of a sudden ripped up, and then Neil's sitting over there like talking about getting out of his shares, should have, didn't. And then here, we can even call it up. Oh, it doesn't matter. And then all of a sudden, boom. Same thing with me with PayPal. This is not just, PayPal was like at 220 when that rumor happened. I'm a PayPal shareholder. Now it's at 190. So, what are you going to do? But that was a false rumor as well. And PayPal came out, I believe it was that night or even the next day, and said, Nepa. We don't want to buy Pinterest. I never understood that anyways. So that's another thing. But again, BIIB, the reason why I like that rumor, and I think it's probably going to be somewhat true, is like, this is depressed, man. This is a great stock at a great level at its 50-period moving average. So if they can buy the whole company right now, I do that, man. That's a great get. That's why I think this is a bidding war. The more and more people will find out that Biogen's up for sale, no, you're not getting it for your first offer. I'll tell you that right now. So that's going to be something interesting to look at, Biogen, guys, moving forward. So I don't know. I'm trying to find some more names here for you to trade for you guys. Let's maybe look at PayPal, PYPL here. Back down to, I said it was at 190, like it's at 190 even. I didn't even look at this stock today. PayPal, I really like this name. It's one that I hold. Been holding this for a while. This was the call of 2020 before COVID, and of course it went from $100 to $200, and now today it's right back to those levels. So a depressed name on a nice move up. But PayPal, the fintech space. I don't need to talk to you guys about that. You've seen a firm. I don't know, is that sub 100? It was bouncing around there, and Upstart as well. So, but look at this base. Like, honestly, you can either buy the market right now or buy some PayPal. I'd buy both. I love this at this base here. 190, a pretty sweet price. It's dipped down to 180. I'm wondering in the new year if this is one of the names that gets bought up. Did I just get out of something? I feel like I just got filled on something. Holy, yes, sir. Wow. FCell. Woohoo. This is a good one, man. Like, honestly, Arun, I only put this on because of these 25 areas. And I was like, you know what? Maybe we get stopped out. It's kind of worth it. So we take a 19 there, trying to give ourselves 6 cents. This is actually for 2 cents, and then we took 6 cents right there. And then now we've just taken a dime, and then we just got hit at 06. So FCell falling back down, man. Let's hold a bullet to see if we break through 5. This could be a good trade for us on FCell. Good way to end the day here. Brendo or Ms. V for likes, maybe?
Yes, Sean, it's time to get more likes, team. I know you're busy, and here I am to remind you. And yes, Randy, it's like o'clock. So please smash the like button, team. 2,600 people are watching, and just 400 likes. Please help us to push them to 1,000. Only you can help us. And I think Arun, Sean, and Brendan are doing great. We had Randy, we had Justin, we have me. So please support the team, support the community. Rob, of course, we have you. You're the main one. So please support the community and give us your like.
All right, talking about supporting the channel, obviously throw your likes in there. Marcelo, I saw you. You said you're a new viewer. What you're seeing on the screen is everything that we have. So at the bottom of our screens here, or not right now it's showing you the P&L per share, but at the bottom of our screens, you'll see an updated live. It updates live based on the positions we have. So everything, we're long and short. Now, I've only got that AMD long, which is at $1.50. Sean's got a bunch of positions. I think he's got 1 long and 3 shorts here on AMC, FCell, and Rivian, and they're all live. As we make changes, as we get out of positions, those will be all updated instantaneously. So that's how we've kind of updated the system. So anything we have, we're actually taking and we're actually trading. And Edwin, throwing a super chat down. Greetings to Edwin Hans and Savannah Trading in Glendora, Chapin World. Okay. Shout out to Edwin and company there. So here we are going back to the market here, back top end of the range here. We've been here before all day. Top end, we were at there, like around European session here, around 90, around 2:30 to 3 o'clock. We got there in the morning around 9 o'clock, or what was that, 10 o'clock actually, 10 o'clock Eastern time, around 47.90 before we fell off. And then here we are getting back up to that 47.90 and change again. We're getting closer. Every time we get sold down or we get brought down, there is a buyer that's willing to step in. A bunch of buyers have determined that 70 seems to be the fair price for the bottom, and now 90 seems to be the resistance up top. So here we are kind of playing inside the range. This market's getting closer and closer to the end of the year, and this market's getting closer and closer towards 4,800. And I think that's the price now. Now, given the way it's trading, you got to look at 4,800 as the next breaking point on what this market decides to do. Are we going to break and stay strong above it? That means upside moves. Or are we going to break above and fail, at which point you got to be concerned about the downside move. So 4,800 break and fail would automatically make you look at 4,770, and then once 4,770 goes, you got to look to the downside, right? So where this market wants to make a move, Apple's going sideways. It seems like, I actually haven't seen Microsoft today, but Microsoft is, relatively sideways as well. So the majors, the big index movers are going sideways for the moment. So keep an eye on those names, because once Microsoft were to go, let's just take a look at the daily here. If Microsoft takes 344, Apple takes 82, 182 right here, they're all sitting at some resistance zones. All you need is for these two names to go. That's 20% of the NASDAQ in two names. That's just going to push the NASDAQ higher as well. NASDAQ sitting at 16,485. So they're also support, their support level is actually not too far away. They just bounced off of it earlier around that 400 area right here, 16,400. So everyone's sitting around resistance, maybe NASDAQ sitting just above broken previous resistance. So everyone's just waiting for something. And I think activity is going to come. It's just may not come today. You might maybe not get it tomorrow, but I think at least at the last day of the year, you got to get something. I would imagine that as we head into the end of the year, there's going to be something. This is the first time in a while that I've actually had a end of the year land on a Friday. Yep. It's been a while since that's happened. So it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out. But I am excited to see how the end of the year is going to go.
All right. I just want to, a new position alert right now. So we'll hit this siren because we are back into PLTR, Mr. Palantir, right now. And look, I'm just going to give it to you very, very simple. If you come to the level 2 here, I'll show you what I'm talking about. There's just an edge X here for a Hundy. So 100,000 shares sitting right there on the level 2. We went long 01s. You can see that's our average price now. We actually had a little bit left from this. We had 20% left, but then I just put on 3 times again. It seems to be the magical number. 3 times the position here from this trade. So 3x this position right now. And again, the reason why is we have this size here. And all I'm trying to do is let this thing drift a little bit higher. Just like what we did on FCell, we're going to play off that. And if you can guess, and let's see this, if you can guess my out on this trade, we're long at O's right now. Where is my out on this trade? For anybody in the chat, if you can guess, then you will win nothing other than a shout out because that's the trade. It's going to come through right now. This is Palantir, and now you know why and where my stop order is on that name. AMC continues to make a move down to the downside. No, sorry, my out on the way down. I would love it to go up to 1825. Great call. Yeah, so we have some offers upside. We'll let that one flow through, hopefully on Palantir. But right now, AMC... I mean, you know, we're getting to this level. I may just take this out. This has been a good move for me on AMC, straight to the downside. I almost wish we didn't take out half there, but that profiled perfectly. My out was going to be 28.50, so we're short there. So now our risk to reward on this one, we're short at 28. Whoever said the break of 18 is right, so that's good. What's up, Mookie Wilson? I see you there. Sorry, I was looking at the chat if someone else said it before you. You're going to be the winner temporarily, Mookie Wilson, right there. Yeah, break of 18, just so simple for me, right? If it breaks 18, I'm out. The support is right here. It's a nice level for it. Obviously, it means something to me, 18 even. We'll see. I mean, it doesn't mean anything other than I like trading around even levels. So we go long. I mean, right here, guys, you could, like, honestly, Palantir can hold it. It's 23 million shares, right? So, like, if you have an account, you could put on here, like, 5,000 shares, you know, there you go, on the bid. And then if this goes, like, 3 pennies, then you make $150. And if it doesn't, then you get out and you're going to lose 2 pennies, so you lose 100. And that's only 3 pennies. So if this can go back up to even back to VWAP there, that's 500. Like, you get long 01s. Well, I mean, whatever, if you want to right now. Long 01s, and then trade it for however you want, but that 05 is staring there. So maybe it gets back to 05, and your risk is 2 to 3 pennies. So we'll see. That's sort of how I'm breaking that down. And at the same point, I think I'm going to take out AMC right now. It's bouncing around. I don't really have anything other than what's been happening here today on this name. It's just kind of trading itself. Low volumes, which is why I think it can drift even lower. Maybe we'll put it out at 80, but it's just kind of like, for no reason, that would be my out there. So I don't really know. Let's maybe let AMC drift a little bit here. Out on like an 85 break right here. We don't want to give it all back, but we do want to make sure that we put in some money in our pockets, as Rivian right now starting to make that move to the downside even more aggressively now. So that's a good trade for me on Rivian right now. Breaking VWAP. Let's see if we can get back down into here. I'm going to put a bid at 98 flat for another piece, and then if we fall, then that would be great. So Rivian right now, 98 flat. We'll put that bid out, probably 98, 10, 11, 12, something like that. See if we get filled on the downside. And then AMC, I don't mind that stop in the 80s. So we'll try to find a good piece there, maybe 85.
Yep. All right. On my screen here, I had a picture for you guys. Pride actually Trader Pride put it in our internal chat here. The Rivian truck parked. Maggie. Oh, it was Maggie.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Oh, Maggie did it. Maggie put that in the chat
Thank
there.
you.
Clearly,
That was at Sherway Mall. That's here in Toronto.
this is at Sherway. This is in LA. Maggie says.
Oh, no, but we have an old, okay, that's an old picture. Someone sent one, if you guys remember, weeks and weeks ago of one at Sherway Gardens in Toronto.
Oh. Did he park like this too, or all Rivian?
No, that's why. It was light gray. It was light gray.
And Brad, just to put the things
Rivian.
in perspective, Brad's like, he also owns an iPhone. So I don't know. Brad's taking a shot at iPhones after someone in his show said that girls don't like people with Androids. So Brad defending Androids and Android users everywhere. Now, someone asked about a firm. The analysis on a firm. Now, I have nothing going on. I mean, I might as well do it because, well, AMD's just going down. And at this point, I really can't do a whole lot except wait for these imbalances to come out, right? So here's the thing with the firm. I kind of avoided a firm. I would have liked to play this up top here around that 105 going up to this 108.50. I had this level marked off this morning. But as it goes to the downside, it's going to be a problem. Like, you have support. You have this here around 92. Then you kind of round that down to 90. And then you have going back, what is this? Around the September lows, around 86 and change. It becomes a mess to the downside. So I'd rather move to the upside that I can actually fade. That'd probably be a better trade versus a move to the downside in terms of a firm. It is hitting some levels that it could actually go kind of bounce off of, but I keep an eye on this as well, just because it is at support. It could easily snap up and take off to the upside. It's just that right now with the trend, ever since about early November, it has been heading to the downside. Essentially, you got 165, then you have 160, and then every move up has been somewhat smaller, right? It is less time spent going up. So here we are kind of going back to the downside. Just keep an eye on it. There's support. If you're looking for longs, you might have support to work with. If you're looking for shorts, I'd be careful because you are running into some support down below. So it's just one of those things that you got to mark the levels off. Just come back to another day. You don't need to trade it today. If you already have the position, you know where the supports are now at least, so you can be comfortable in the fact that, hey, you know what, if I'm long, say above where it's trading right now, I have some help here. At some point, you got to cut the trade if you are long. You just got to figure out by looking at what the daily chart is showing you, you can kind of base it out and be like, you know what, if it gets past this price, I think it's not going to work anymore because the trend is to the downside. We'll walk away from it. At least you know that now, right? You can see where it is and you can visually kind of put things, line things up. But for now, it does look like downside momentum, upside resistance. Here we are heading back down.
So shout out to Toronto Car Spotting right here, as whoever this is, Alan Bach. Here it is, Sherway Gardens, right? Spotted this Rivian at Sherway Gardens this evening. Alan, this is not yesterday, but there you could see it, a little bit of a lighter gray here. And I can somewhat confirm, I mean, I've been to Sherway. I know they have these for parking and whatnot, but there it is. There is a Rivian there in Toronto. So whoever owns that, good for you. Congratulations, that's a sick car. So the Rivian right there. This only went to 03. We didn't take any out. We could have, but we're going to see. Here it goes, back to 03, back to 04. Let's go, baby. Now we're getting a little bit lit on this. Let's see if we can go back up to the upside. It's going to seem like a small trade. Obviously, we've talked about this. There it is. We'll take a little out. Yeah, you can see some outs there. Yes. Good trade here on Palantir. You're going to see this. Here we go. Come back in, baby. Palantir up to 05, 06. you're going to see me happy. I just told you the amount of shares sort of that we had there. So let's just top this off right now and go, yeah, buddy. I smoked the good stuff off this trade. Back up to the upside right now for Palantir. Let's see if it goes, man. It's going to look like a small trade. And, we're getting excited because we're on the show there. I don't know why 420 just hit there, but that's that. But we'll say pigs get slaughtered for sure. And we'll just take some more out, man. 1804, 1805, and let's just rock and roll with this one. And I'm just happy because it's the end of the day. It's a good trade. Rivian's working out for us as well. AMC almost getting clocked out of that one. And then FCell, man, yeah, we on one for FCell as well. Let's just get out of FCell if it takes out 10 back to the upside. But wow, what a good afternoon this has been. So far so good for us here. Maybe we'll take another, should we take another piece out of this? I don't know. We're going to just let AMC and Palantir and everything just continue to go. What just happened right there? We just got taken out of something there. Oh, AMC. AMC just popped to the upside. So we got out at 85. We'll close that trade. So far so good on that one as the Maple Leafs getting ready to get back on the ice, although more and more games getting canceled every day. So we'll see where that goes. Here it is, 07s now for Palantir. So we'll see if we can get some fills here at 07 on PLTR and then go from there. But right now, Rivian still that dollar in the money. Ooh, I was bidding downside teens, guys. We only went to 98.20 there. Let's get a piece out as it's taking out view up one more time. I'll take one more piece out on Rivian and then see if we're lucky enough to get that on a dip there. There it is again. Just took some more out on Palantir to the upside right now on that name as that's starting to go. Rivian, yeah, let's put a bid out. See if we can get a bid now on Rivian. Take another piece out for $1.
All right, AMD picking up some buy strength here. Okay, I can respect this. I need this right now because we're out at $1 or so. It's been out of the money essentially for about what? It was in the money for 10 minutes and then it took off to the downside. So AMD at this point, we're waiting for imbalance to come out, right? So while I'm waiting for these imbalances to come out at 350, what I'm going to do is start setting up some trades for tomorrow. A couple names that I'm going to kind of start looking at. I'll just throw it out there for you guys. Asana is going to be one of those names. I like what it's doing. As long as we can maintain strength north of 72, there could be a trade to the buy side. Limited though, but there could be a trade to the buy side on Asana. That's one name I'm looking at. I'm kind of going through them. Dash is another name, is down today big. It's kind of hitting some support area. Not entirely convinced about this 140, but I think if we get above 160, it might not happen tomorrow, but definitely 160 right here. If we get above that, there should be something opening up just above there. So 155 going upside, I would argue that be on the lookout for shorts, but at the same time, if there's a strong move to the upside, just take the 160 break. That's probably the better play anyways. That's one name. Another alert that went off today, and I said absolutely not, was Team. So Team was an alert that went off. I set the alert, but I didn't bother taking the trade once the alert went off. Why? Volume. Volume was absolutely horrendous. 461,000 shares, and we're already just past 330. So there's no volume on it. So I kind of just saw the stock, saw the chart, put the name out there as an alert, put it for my system. And then when the alert went off, I looked at the volume. I'm like, nope, that's not happening. So that's just avoid. So my suggestion when you guys are trading these names, especially on the intraday basis as well, is that you got to pick names that have decent volume. If you end up in a name that's illiquid, let's just say right now it's fine because the market's doing nothing, stock's doing nothing, so the spreads are fine, right? If this stock were to move, let's just say you were long and this were to move to the downside in such a fashion where it starts moving fast, these spreads open up. There's no volume, so there's no reason for them to keep a close spread. So this spread opens up and then you end up taking a hit by having to cross further away on the bid than you kind of need to, right? So you don't have to worry about that issue on something like, say, BAC, which is one of the most liquid stocks out there. BAC done 18 million shares. Look at the spread, 1 penny. You have more than enough volume to deal with. So it's done 17 million, and then you go to Apple, still volatile, but the spread isn't that large because there's volume to be done. And that's just one of those things you got to pay attention to. Is volume matters, regardless of what the stock chart looks like. If you are trading on an intraday basis and you need to bail on a position, stock charts matter. Brendan?
Randy is making random calls on his own. So sure, yeah, why not? Let's talk about FCell again here because we're on the way back down to 5, guys, but we did try and get back above that 520 as Sean was talking about. Nice move back lower. FCell again, earnings terrible. Not much good to say really on the clean energy front today. I was just reading solar stocks, worst year in 5, it looks like, as we head into the new year for the solar group as well, guys.
Okay, yeah, solar. Oh man, and maybe solar is a play. Like I don't know what to think about EV. And thank you to Trader TV Randy, who came on, talked a little bit about EV there. Let's just update our Palantir. Someone said Sean just put $500,000 into Palantir. I mean, that's just a drop of the buying power that we have. But you know, whatever we talked about, sort of going, you know, kind of balls to the wall.
Well, how do they know though? They don't, right? They're making guesses, right?
Yeah, they're just making guesses, but that's fine. It doesn't matter how much we're putting into any of these trades. It just matters about why, and that's why I went right over to the education side of things, and I just told you the reason why we took it was nothing to do with charts, nothing to do with anything. It was to do with that we had a big buyer at 18, and it was at a nice level there on 18, and the fact that maybe we had a nice little run-up happening. Needless to say, I'm out of 60% of this trade right now, and debating getting out of more right now as we go here through to see where this is going to print and whatnot. We are using some dark pools to get out of our trades. We have access for all of that. So, you know, we're just sitting here. There we go again. We just took some more out right there on 05s as it tries to break through. So now we're even less than that out now. Only a third left of this trade. So it's going to be a successful one, hopefully anyways. Maybe I take a little bit more out here at 05. All we're sort of doing, like we said, is just to try to take advantage of these last couple moves in the day and just sort of top off what we've already been doing here today already. FCell back in, man, 12 cents. Nice move. We're going to take this out if it breaks 11 to the upside there as Palantir. Palantir falling again right now. So we'll put another bit on 04 and see if we can get that out as we go. But all right, so that's that. Let's take a quick look at Rivian. We did get an out there. I had to chase this all the way up. And again, I don't know if you guys trade with a live level 2 or not. There we go. Yes, we just got 04s again there on Rivian, on Palantir. You might think like, wow, I'm getting excited over 5-6 cent wins. But, you know, we are just hopping it off. Just like what Arun said, sometimes he can make 3 points on the futures. But if you have enough contracts, believe me, that's a nice little take sometimes, if not a little bit more than that. So it's all relative. But there's Rivian. And again, just the same kind of story. I tried to buy this thing back at VWAP 70. I had to chase this all the way up until it finally filled me without me marketing into it. So I should have marketed in down here and we got a better price. But I had to chase this all the way to 87 or something. So we got that full. Yes, Palantir. So right now we are lighter on this name. We only have 20% left. And now we can sort of let this ride. I'm going to cancel. We have a 10 offer. So if that can get back up to 10 on Palantir, then we will take that. And I'll feel foolish if it goes to 10. But realistically, my crystal ball is what it is here today. We only have two negative names. That's going to be AMD, where we chased the dream all morning and got hit on it, and it's not even doing anything. So pretty happy with our last AMD out was 149. I don't even think it's gotten back to 149 since that out. No, it hasn't. So that looks like it was a good out for me there, although not a good trade. And then the other name that this is another name that we're negative on actually, was Peloton. And, you know, it's unbelievable that we were long this name. We took a bath. It's not heavy shares. It's in the middle of the day. But still, yucky trade. Reminds me of that AMD trade. But this one actually went right back up and we could have made some money on it. So it took it out right there. We shouldn't have. Right now, Peloton kind of barcoding. I like that name. So, yep, no problem. We're going to see what happens here into the close. So Palantir making a move back to the upside. Is there anything you guys want me to look at? Because we have a little bit of time left. It's 3:40. The imbalances are going to come out in 10 minutes. So we can do that. We were actually debating on Friday when Neil comes back because it's probably going to be slow. Neil, it's a full day. What would you guys think if we did a Q&A for about an hour on Friday? So I'm thinking that we could probably do that on this show where Neil, myself, and Brendan will just go back and forth and we will do a Q&A on Friday for you guys. We used to do it only for members, but we'll do it for everybody there. Ooh, shoot, here come all the names. All right, you know what, one name that we haven't looked at for a little bit has been Tesla. So whoever put that in there, yes, people like the Q&A idea, Brendan. So maybe we will go with that a little bit. Shout out to Maggie, is not here, but we'll mention it to her. Okay, a nice little upside move here going 1092. Look, man, Tesla's one of those tricky stocks because I'm, again, a little bit embarrassed. This line right here, we should be long. We talked about that 1070. It does temporarily break it, and that would have been a great long there on Tesla at 1070. I'm in love with that video of the drone there because Tesla just really showing its power as opposed to, Palantir, up to 08 now. Okay, I see you, Palantir. I might just put an order here at 08 and see if we can get that because it is moving to the upside right here on PLTR. What's Rivian Rivian doing? Rivian's trying to get back up. Look, if this takes out 100, we'll get out, but we're already emptied it out. 20, 40, 60, 80. We got a small piece left on Rivian. Let's see if that can work to the upside rate there. But we'll take out some Palantir. There it is. Yes, sir. Another fill there on Palantir as it just spit through some 8s there. There it is. So some more D prints going off for Palantir. Nice trade for me there. Getting out of another piece of that trade. And then Lucid. Yeah, let's check out Lucid. Oh, you know what? SOPA was a great, this trade, guys, honestly, I should have known. I mean, it's not been a great day, but when this happened, it was like, wow. We went long SOPA early. It started to get some volume. We started to see the volume picking up here. We bought this level. It never went up. We could have taken 70 cents, and we were like, oh, that's 15 break. We could have taken 70 cents. It didn't. We didn't get in, and then we were just like, you know what? We're going to see if it can protect some of these pre-market levels. So we did take that bid. Then all of a sudden, we were able to get out for flat on that trade, right? So that's flat. That's 15 cents or so. In at 15, out at 20. So right there, boom, nice little trade. And then all of a sudden, we were like, hey, we're going to put an offer, and if I could show you, where SOPA traded yesterday at 16.50. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to put an offer around 16, see if it gets filled. Arun and I doing the show, then bang, it takes off to the upside, and we get that 16 fill. And now you can see SOPA just, whatever, man, retesting some of these lows. Don't hold any of these things overnight. I don't think it's worth it. I think there's too much lack of liquidity coming through the market. If you thought today was slow, you still have tomorrow and Friday to go. So I'm not super excited about that.
Yeah, and Friday, I think, today was slow. Tomorrow, I think, it's up in the air, but I think Friday, there's got to be something going down on Friday. It's the last day of the year. There should be, end the year with some fireworks, at least, you would hope. So we'll keep an eye out for how this plays out. But now, as we get into the end of the day, with about 6 minutes left, futures heading closer and closer towards those 4,800s. That's interesting. Here we are looking forward to these imbalances. How are we going to play these imbalances? I think at this point, we got to keep an eye on, well, for me specifically, I've got to keep an eye on how AMD imbalances come out. Well, because I'm long AMD and it's already out of the money. It's been out of the money $1.25 and change. So here we are kind of moving back up. Where's the AMD chart? Right here. We kind of dipped down south of 147 and change, now back above 148. If we get a nice little imbalance buy side on AMD, I could think we can at least get to 148.50. So do some damage control on this trade. Do I have faith that this is going to be a positive trade? No. But at the same time, I would like to kind of minimize the loss on this AMD long with a positive imbalance. I think if we get a negative imbalance, I'm just going to cut the trade and walk away from that. There's no point in holding on to this at this point. So thing with imbalances, for anyone who's new, I noticed that we have some new watcher viewers that are kind of asking questions. We also do these imbalances, and these markets release their imbalances at 350, and I do this every time as we get closer and closer to these imbalances. It's just one of those things where it's a market mover, right? It's something to pay attention to when the market decides that, what, these imbalances are decent. If you have enough of them come out in the right direction or in the same direction, especially with, say, Apple and all the big names, you're going to see this market react at 350, and this is the information that you're going to keep an eye on here. So on one side, what you have is the symbol, the direction of these imbalances, the size, and then the paired value, how much of it already has been matched, right? And the reason why you pay attention to this is because this is everybody who wants to participate in the official closing price. So they tag their order with a special condition called on close, right? So if you participate on the on close, you get the official closing price. So if you go on like any of these websites that show, oh, what's the closing price of Apple? Well, the official closing price is going to be determined by the Apple market maker, and they're going to aggregate all these orders, match them from their own book if they need to, and then find the official balanced closing price, and that's the closing price you participate with. So if imbalances were to say come out negative on Apple, Apple's going to have some pressure to the sell side as more and more people kind of like, oh, you know what? It looks like a lot of people want to sell at the end of the day. So stock heads out in that direction. That's just one of those things where you do want to pay attention to these imbalances if they're large enough to matter, right? Sometimes you have Apple, in this case, has done 52 million shares. Is it going to matter if the imbalance is a million shares? Probably not. If the imbalances were like 10 million, okay, that's like 20% of the day's volume. That's going to make a big difference. That's something to pay attention to. So definitely watch out for these imbalances as they come out. We have 3 minutes left before these imbalances come out. Definitely one of those things you want to keep an eye on. If you're ever wondering why the market moves at 350, is because the imbalances are released, right? No one knows what happens or what the information is until we get them. So for the individual names at least, and then here we are kind of waiting for the market to react, and then after 350, you get a 355 update as the floor orders are put in there as well. And these imbalances generally tend to just completely disappear. But in the event that these imbalances don't disappear and they actually get bigger, then you're going to have more of a pressure in these names. And that's something to definitely keep an eye on as we get to 350, then 355, and then obviously you use that into the close. And we'll keep an eye on some of the names that pop off today as the futures are looking to put in some new highs. We're actually sitting at highs for the day here at 47.93.50 and moving up strong.
Yeah, that's for sure. And you can see here, let's just hit this again. Like, people doubt that Santa Claus is coming to town, but yeah, oh wow. Okay, look at Palantir right now making moves one more time back up to the upside. And again, guys, you are more than welcome for that Palantir trade. This was a great one for me, like one of my best this week, just net wise here this week as it continues to climb upside. Just now, of course, when I look back, I wish we didn't get so much out at 7/8 there, because we did get our 10s, and now you can see that we're cruising up to 12 right now on Palantir. Yahoo on that one. And just for right here, someone said Sean. There it is, the Exile at Sean. You got to do the full name, or I'm not going to see it. Friday, get the drinks going again. Don't worry about that. I'm probably stopping tonight. We'll pick up some champagne, and we'll be having some of that. The last time we crushed this huge bottle of Moet here last time, so you can see the Magnum right there. So, yep. There we go. You said that's the size of that. I could say another joke to that, but I've been in trouble doing that by a viewer. So we'll keep this bottle. Actually, we'll keep this bottle over here so that we don't worry about it. And we'll get that again. So, okay, Rivian, blah, blah, blah. Oh, when you guys want to, how long is that video, Brad? 10 seconds, that's it? Okay. Rob, do you have it? I don't know. I mean, on the chat here, okay, whatever, just check the chat, please, and hopefully we can solve this. There is a video here about Rivian. I thought we were on it, but we'll wait for that to come through. Okay, here we go. Ooh. So what is this? This is a Rivian, I guess. What is this, Prad? Okay. So delivery of Rivian cars, something about that. Anyways, there you go. Thank you so much for that. So right now, yes, sir, we are waiting at 14 here. Hopefully we get a fill on this one. What a great trade to end the day here on Palantir, man. I am like over the moon happy with how this one's working out. Rivian 99. Oh, here come the imbalances. Let's quickly have a quick look at this as we go. We'll see where we're going in the market here. WFC, a nice little buy, 1.13 million shares. What else is here on this? You can see what's the market doing quickly. Nothing. It looks like up and down a little bit. Apple with a nice little bid here into this. Let's just zoom in for a 1 minute chart, see if it's doing anything to Apple. It doesn't look like it wants to. Cisco with a buy, almost a milli here. Is that doing anything to Cisco? No, they're actually going to the other way here. Yeah, these are all, honestly, man, I think people are either waiting to window dress tomorrow or the last day of the month. There's absolutely nothing on here. We can't check. Yes, sir. And on that move, we get that 14. Wow, what a good trade that was there for me on Palantir, man. Next time, we'll even put more risk on that trade as we go to the upside. As WFC, you could see also not doing anything there. So yeah, that was a good trade there for Palantir. Pretty happy with it. We might get out of our Rivian and F-Cell right now as they're both not doing anything. Did anything catch your eye?
Oh, well, just at WFC, right? WFC is at like 1.1 million. That's the largest one. It's a New York name. Why did I get that wrong? Okay, it's the 1.1 million. It's done 8 million on the day, so that's definitely something to keep an eye on. WFC, here we are. Kind of. This name specifically, the bank names, they tend to disappear, right? BAC, WFC, anytime they come out, they disappear. So you kind of discount them a little bit, but we'll just keep it up. So we'll see what happens at 355. And then what's FitB? FitB is, this is nice. Okay, 1 million shares on the buy side with 1.6 done on the day. Okay, let's get FitB's chart up and running, see how much of an influence it's already had. Okay, yeah, that's definitely something to keep an eye on as we actually move up. Look at that. That's the 350 candle right there. Imbalances come out. We go from 44.06 or 7 all the way up to 18. And now we're coming back down a little bit. So that's just one of those.
You want this, Randy, or no?
Oh, yeah. We got to show that. We definitely got to show that.
Today is a new day.
Rob,
guys. Here we go. Yeah, well, when Rob's ready. What are you doing, Rob? Go to my screen, somebody here, whoever's doing this. I have a obviously much better. That's not my screen.
That's my screen.
There we go. So here we go. I mean, if this is not almost exact, then I don't know who the hell made this. This is genius right there. Don't make Randy pull out his AK. Today is a good day. So thank you so much to whoever sent that out. That's great, man. That should go on your Facebook, Randy. Right there. Shout out to Ice Cube right there, making moves. Thank you to whoever did that. That was awesome. I think people loving this on the chat there, right there. Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, we called that for sure. I thought that was, thank you for whoever did that. That was great. Okay, just to go here, quick check on some crypto names, as there's not much really happening in the market right now. Yeah, Randy is thug life, man. You don't even know how much. I mean, everybody in Randy's neighborhood knows he's a thug and everything like that. I'm sure it's quite the opposite. If you have a picture of your dog, Randy, I'd like to show that there, your bodyguard. That would be pretty cool. Clive coming in the building there. Well, not in our building, hopefully. Take everything down. Okay, so quick check here. Bitcoin, 0.6 down for Bitcoin today. 1.9 for Ethereum. Solana trying to hold out at 176. Cardano's been up and down, but I still love you, Cardano. Ripple still doing its own thing. XRP, of course. Polkadot. And then what we really talked about with KO, and I don't know, I'm surprised he even knows anything about this, but Matic was a name that he was dropping as well. Polygon, that's a name that I've been buying on dips. So crypto, not a great run here today, but still some names nicely up. Not today, but over the 7-day period. There are some winners there, including Shiba Inu. What's up to Shiba Army? Only 3, 4, 5. What? Okay, how ironic is this? Look at this Shiba. I don't know if you guys can see this on this. 3, 4, 5, 6 right now. Just a fluke because I just refreshed it, but that's the current price on CoinGecko for Shiba Inu.
All right, back to FITB. Again, it's 1 million shares. Keep an eye on this. As we come into the final minute, we should get an update here. And I think this is the one that really matters here. A lot of these names should be disappearing, especially the ones at the top. If they don't, then definitely keep an eye on it, because FITB, although it's a buy, it is actually coming to the sell side, which makes me feel like there's already some sell pressure and it's already been offset a little bit. So we just haven't gotten the floor update yet. So although these numbers are updating at 355, you get the decode sent in there, inserted into these imbalances, and that kind of changes the game a little bit. So that's definitely kind of something to watch. And it looks like futures, okay, don't want to take the 4795s out. And coming back towards the 4790s now. Okay, that's something to keep an eye on. Futures now making it look like they want a double top, triple top, whatever, quad top up here. As the top end of the range, as we are finding some sell-side activity in front of this 4,800. We're getting closer, but we are finding more sell-side activity as we get closer to that even number. And here we go. What is it? Yeah, FITB's gone. Everything's sub 1 million now. And the biggest one we have left is TAL. I mean, where did this one even come from? But I don't, at this point, you know what? We saw this morning, imbalances were small this morning. And now, for a closing imbalance, these are pretty small. There's not a whole lot going on here, so I'm not even going to bother looking at any of these. We got to take care of this AMD, though. AMD finding some buy-side pressure. Okay, good. Now the loss is only going to be about 78 cents. See if I can't sneak an order in there around 149 and maybe get lucky with a cross. Someone decides to cross up 50 cents and get me out.
Go ahead. 50 cents?
Yeah, that's what I'm looking for.
Yeah, you won't need to cross that high, I'd hope not.
No. I hope someone else crosses to get me out.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
You know, hold it after market. Sometimes there's a little bit of liquidity there. I don't know, if you wanted to. Okay, so Rivian, just to finish that trade right now, we'll floss it off a little bit. It was a good short for us. We didn't cash out as much as we should have on that break. We thought we were going to go lower and looking for down here. So a mistake opportunity on that one, but we did let the last little bit ride here. So a couple shorts and some nice outs there for Rivian. We didn't make nearly as much money as we should have on that one, but whatever, man. I'm over the moon on that Palantir trade. The market is falling back down a little bit. Let's check out where AMC wound up. So that's a good out on AMC as well. I mean, when we got out, it did retrace back down, but that's a good short. Oh, we can go to the big screen if you guys, do you want to, Rob? So this is, it's Clyde, right? Clyde, yeah, not Clive. And what is he weighing in at, about $1.60 right now? 71. Yeah, $1.71 right now. Great Dane, so about a year and a half or 2 years old now. So there you go. So there's the watchdog there for Randy. Mine is a cockapoo, about 20 pounds. So right there. But anyways, we're dog lovers here. Join our Discord as we have a pets section on that. Maybe you could add that to the pet section there, Brad. Randy's dog. Yeah, why not? So hit up our Trader TV Live Discord. There's an official one. We'll let you in there. There's another one. Oh, yeah, a big head, eh? Wow. Guy's a beast. What does he even eat a day? Like 10 cups of food. Wow. What a beast there. But, the bigger they are, the more they love. So great dog there. Shout out to everybody who's a dog owner for sure. Yeah, not 160, man, 170 for Clyde. Hopefully he'll be in the building. We've told Randy, man, if he comes in here, you got to have that guy on like a crazy, because apparently he's still silly running around here. He'll take down everything around here. So shout out to you, Randy. Thanks for sharing that. That's pretty special. So only 2 minutes left. Let's go. Who won that? Who won that? We had a poll up, Android versus Apple. I think Apple, what was the poll? Buccaneers won. Oh my God. It was who's going to win the Super Bowl? Tampa Bay. It was only two options, Tampa Bay or Green Bay. I'll make that bet with somebody when it comes through because I believe that's going to be. Green Bay should have won last year, by the way, and Brady rolled into Lambeau and Aaron Rodgers was like throwing ducks up, and he got, and that was a bad call also by Matt LaFleur last year. As you guys remember, they did not go for it. They gave the ball back to Tampa, and they basically ran out the clock. Like, what are you doing, bro? Hopefully this year that's a little bit better of a result for us Packer fans. Only minute and a half to go, Arun.
Yeah.
Did you or did you not get out of your trade?
No, I'm still trying to price this. Obviously, I got to give up on the idea of this getting back to 149, so maybe close to 148.50. I don't know. I'm gonna hold this on to like last possible second. There's enough liquidity. It's done 50 million shares on the day, 49 million shares on the day. So maybe we get a last minute move to the upside towards the 50s and I can get myself out. Otherwise, I'll just, get it out if we head in the opposite direction. But for now, I am going to hold out. This is going to be a loser, no less, but I'm going to be net positive regardless of how this one plays out because of all the other names like Baba and Amat. So here we are going to the final few minutes, or final minute actually, as we market heading to the downside. Yeah, 47.87 quarter. Looks like we're going to back off. That 4,800 is going to be in play tomorrow. Definitely one of those levels to keep an eye on as we close out the year and the last trading day for me.
I like the Cowboys. Yeah, I like the Cowboys. Good team, but the playmaker, Dak can't win big games, and I feel like that's what's going to happen again there. Palantir, 15. I like the Cowboys. So that defense, man, Micah Parsons, wow. The countdown, let's not forget about that. Only a little bit of time left. We're on the bid trying to get some F-sell out. We have a 9-cent winner. I don't know if we're going to get that or not. Maybe we'll get printed out right now.
I'm still in a position, bro.
With only 15 seconds left. Yeah, Arun may be on the bell tomorrow, but tonight he is working that AMD trade, so will not be there. We'll hit the countdown right now, basically bang on with the countdown here as we get ready to go. With only a few seconds left, Ms. V gonna ring that bell. We just got out of F-Cell. 4, 3, 2, and 1. There it is, yeah. That's good, Ms. V. Don't worry about that. As you can tell, somebody mischievous on the bell today, and one guest wins that one, if you know who that is. Let's go over to our main man on the big desk there, Brendan. Did we wind up green? That was a little bit of a dip down there at the end.
I was just actually trying to see if we could get to all-time highs there, but it's not going to be today. Nevertheless, back into positive territory here for the S&P, which is good to see at the end of the day. Very close, in fact. Arun, you had 47.98 quarter, you were saying?
For what?
All-time highs?
The S&P?
Yeah, I think it's in there or about. So not quite today, anyways.
I can look it up right now.
0.5% for the Dow, the Nasdaq positive.
47.98.
TSX positive.
47.98
first day open, as we said after the holidays, guys.
47, so we both got it at the same time. 497.8 flat. So the highest we got today on the ES was 96. So we became very, very close. Oh, this is not the right thing here on the daily chart, but it's 497.
4798.
4798, not 47. Obviously, we're way past that. So 4798 right now. The high we got to 96. So very close to a win there. Nice out there on F-Cell. And that was Randy ringing the bell there. So that was a good one there. I agree, man. The Dallas D is better than Green Bay Packers, but trust me, on the offensive side of things, we should be able to handle Amari Cooper and CeeDee Lamb. I like Dallas. So shout out to all you guys. What a good trading day it was for us. MU is going to be our trade of the day. Thank you for watching. It was exciting. A little bit of, wow, that light just went on and like blasted in my face from all the way over there. Thank you to Randy. A big show today from you. Thank you for coming on and sharing your knowledge there about Rivian. And also a big thanks to Rob right there as well. They're on the ones and twos. You can see there's a serious production here, man. That equipment ain't cheap. Thank you to Trader Prad for rocking it for 3 hours in the middle of the day on Market Movers. Good trading day today, Prad. Nice job. Miss V always just killing it, man. There on a live mic all day. Thank you so much to Ms. V as well. And Arun, man, it's been a blast. I think we've done about 7 or 8 shows now in a row. So one more tomorrow, and we will see you for one last time tomorrow, and then we get him back in his comfort of his own home, where he'll be back with us daily, hopefully to talk about, not hopefully, will be back daily to talk about the futures with us every day. So any last words here, Brendan? Normally I'm closing the show, and I'll still do it, but what you up to tonight?
I think shopping again, but I was just going to mention the Dow. I think is
that was all-time highs.
Yeah, Dow was all-time highs. So not quite for the S. Maybe tomorrow.
Ms. V's mic on. What are you up to tonight?
Sleeping.
Okay. I'm feeling that. Look at all of our heads. We're like a little bit like one, like up here, down here. There we go. Set that all up there. Okay, for the Trader TV Live team, we're always having fun. Join us tomorrow at 8:30. We're back. We're back in the building, and so are you. Thank you. Hit the like if you haven't. Trader of the Day is up next. Ciao.